1:27 to go. McNabb dropping foot. It's intercepted at the 10 to the 20.
He's gone.
Going coast to coast. Rodney Barber to the 50 to the 40. Barber to the 30. Nobody's going to touch him. Rodney Barber 10-5. The Super Bowl, and they're trying to win it for us. Third down, 18, dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, throws up the middle. It's intercepted at the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl. And almost over the top. Second effort. He's got it. He's got it, we think. They think they got it. There it is. The triple triumph. He's sacked at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And it's down and 10. Blitz coming. Heineke flushed it. He's sacked at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And Levante David has a quarterback sack. Here's the snap. Play action fake. Brady looking. Throws toward the end zone. Caught ball. Touchdown Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rob Gronkowski's got 2 today. Chiefs dropping to throw Mahomes. We run a stunt, and we sack him at the 50-yard line. Wow, he's clobbered. Fumble the football, recovered by the line. There's the snap. Mahomes running to his right. Look out, he may run. Mahomes directly. No, throw the end down. Battle intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world, and we still have 1:33 to go. Devin White, what a great second season. Here's the snap. Brady dropping, looking. Brady throws. Caught ball. It's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Rachaad White. Touchdown Buccaneers. Fire the cannons. Bucs tie the game at 16. Down goal the snap. Brady's going to throw. Looking. Throws a dart. It's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin. He makes the catch right beneath the goalpost. Mayfield has time, cocks the arm, runs the ball. He's going to run to the 30. He runs to the 35. He has a first down. Wow. Hippie ankle. Bruised ribs. He's got guts. David, 6 guys up front. Bucs dig in. 2-point try. Push. And I don't know if he got it. They have not indicated yet. He did not get it in. In motion, Shepard to the left. We fake the end around, hand the ball off, running to the right. Irving inside the 10 to the 5. 3-2-1. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Bucky Irving takes it to the house. Second down, 10. Rachaad White now in the backfield. Baker Mayfield throws the sideline route downfield. Caught ball to the 5. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans does it again. Fire the cannons, Bucs. Here's the snap for Rattler. Here comes pressure. Gets the pass. Near sideline. Incomplete pass. Bucs take the ball away. On downs. Now in motion. Mike Evans strips over to the left slot. Baker Mayfield shotgun. They know what we're going to do. Baker Mayfield looks, throws the ball to caught ball. Evans, he's got it to the 40-yard line. 1,000 plus Mike Evans. 11 seasons in a row. How about them Buccaneers?
What is going on, Buccaneer Nation? I hope you guys are all doing well. It's officially back. Football season is back. Where I'm excited. I'm being joined by a special guest, Daniel Morales. He's got some big news for you guys in a little bit, but first, how you feeling, buddy? It's week one. We're here.
Football's back, finally, meaningful football. We love preseason football, but now regular season football, football that counts against, the overall record is finally back, man. The road to the Super Bowl for all 32 teams starts this Sunday or Thursday, for example, for the Philadelphia Eagles. But for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it all starts with that NFC South matchup with the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a really tough game. I'm excited for it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, there's a new energy, there's a new vibe here at the Frozen Pirate Podcast. We have a lot of good things going on today. Obviously, you with some big news. Also, we're going to be joined with DJ UPS in a little while. He's going to be talking about this charity he's doing. So you guys want to stay tuned, and you guys might want to share this now because, like I said, so he's doing a raffle for an autographed Buccaneers jersey, basically for kids out there who can't afford a Halloween costume this year. And I was one of those kids at one point, and it's a terrible feeling. So we have a loaded show, man. We got that, and then I'm doing a free jersey giveaway. It's just crazy. What a way to open up the show. But I mean, let's really open up the show. Daniel, you got some news for everybody out there. I'm gonna give you the full screen here. Let everybody know the big news, man.
Thank you, man. First off, I like the new layout here. I really like this start off the
Oh,
season. Like what
this
you're
is
doing,
nothing.
man.
This is
Your
nothing.
camera looks good, the background, everything looks good, man. But yeah, thank you, Louis, for having me on. So the big news is I'm joining Pewter Report. So really, really excited. This is something that, growing up, Pewter Report is, a source I've always listened to. Scott Reynolds, back then, Mark Cook, Trevor Sikkema. Now you got guys like Adam Salon, Bailey Adams, all those guys they're really good guys. So on game days, I'm going to be helping with the Buccaneers game day show. So while you're watching the game, if you want to listen to some analysis, you listen to me and Matt Matera, and we're going to tell you guys what's going on out there, give our insight on what we're seeing on the football field. So just really excited to join Pewter Report and continue to grow Fear the Bay with Pewter Report as well. So thank you, Louis.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm so excited for you. I'm very happy for you. This is a very hard working man here, and like I said, I could
You are as
not
well,
be
man.
happier for it. Now, man, like I said, this is a big opportunity for you, man, and I'm very happy for you. So obviously, make sure you guys go follow him and support him there on Pewter Report. We got a lot to talk about, man. It's just it's I still can't get over this, man. We're finally here. We're finally
Yeah,
here. It's week one, and we're going up against the Atlanta Falcons. The are one I would say, it's not. I don't hate them as much as the Saints.
the
I have a
Saints.
respect. I
Yeah,
have a respect for the Falcons because it's been competitive with the Falcons. You know, they've had our number, man. The last season, and to me, those were fluke wins. I don't think they were the better team. Uh, I think Tampa Bay's record should have been a little bit different. Should have had 2 more wins on it.
yeah,
Also, again, it's kinda strange when you look at the NFC South, Daniel. It is. Because you have the Carolina Panthers who have gotten better, and now you have the Saints. The Saints are just completely in the doghouse. So
yeah,
let's just get right into it, with the state of the South. Let's talk about the NFC South here. Alright,
yeah.
so you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who I think that are gonna win the division this year. And then you have and I have a bold statement to make.
Okay, I
Uh,
want to
the
hear it.
the Carolina Panthers are gonna finish in second place with the Atlanta Falcons. I think they're both gonna have the same win and loss record. I'm
Okay,
telling you
all
right now.
right.
I
That's
think they're
bold
gonna.
right there.
I'm telling you, I think they're gonna have the same amount of wins and losses. I think they'll be tied for second place, and then you'll have the New Orleans Saints. Just because I don't think Carolina's gonna go down without a fight. I think that
Yep,
they're in it, and they know that they can compete. They competed with us last year. They gave us a run for our money. They competed with the 49ers. Like, the list goes on. They looked good against the Chiefs,
yeah.
they held their own. So we'll start off with the state of the South. How are you feeling about the Carolina Panthers? How are you feeling about the Falcons? Let's get into
Yeah.
it because, like I said, this is not gonna be a cakewalk for the Buccaneers this year.
Yeah, this
It's
year
gonna
the
be
the
earned.
division's a little bit tougher than in
Right.
previous years, I would say. So the basement, I think the New Orleans Saints are going to be down there, and they're going to be in competition, I believe, to have the number 1 overall selection in next year's draft. That's how I feel they're going to do. Spencer Rattler was able to beat the 2nd round draft pick Tyler Chuck for the QB1 position. I think either way, whichever, Spencer Rattler or Tyler Chuck, they're not going to do much out there on the football field, I believe. It's Kellen Moore's first year, new offense, all these things. But I think the Saints can end up in the basement in the NFC South and, be competing for, that number 1 overall spot for next year's draft. I do like, just like you, I like the Carolina Panthers. It's a really big, bold prediction to have them at 2nd place, but I think it could happen. You never know what could happen throughout the NFL season. This is a young, promising team that the Carolina Panthers have. Bryce Young looks good. It's his offensive line. He's getting better weapons. Xavier Legette in the draft last year. Ted McMillan out of Arizona this year in the 1st round. He has Hunter Renfrow. Now he's going to be his starting slot wide receiver. So they did trade Adam Thielen away, but they still have some good weapons for him to throw to. But that offensive line, if the offensive line for the Panthers can, just protect Bryce Young, hold up for just long enough, I think Bryce Young could be I don't think the Panthers, out of all the teams, the Panthers are the team you can't hate them. No. It's just I don't think at this point when Cam Newton was around, Bucs fans, I get if you hated them because it was real competition back then.
Oh yeah.
But with this team with Dave Canales also, it's just they're a young, promising team. They're gonna fight tooth and nail this year. During the first preseason game, Bryce Young, he didn't play much in the preseason. But that first game, he played the most out of any of the 3 games. The pocket just collapsed. He was able to get out. Again, the pocket's not holding up. He was able to roll out. He was able to, on the run, find his wide receiver in the back end of the end zone. So he looks good. It's just that offensive line. If he had a top 5 offensive line, even with the weapons he has, they're not high caliber weapons, but they're young, promising weapons. He would be a really good quarterback. But I have him coming in 3rd place in the NFC South. 2nd place, I have the Atlanta Falcons, who I talked about this on my podcast, but I was doing a deep dive on the Atlanta Falcons for this week. And man, they look good. They're a much better team, a much better, well-rounded team than I thought they were heading into week number 1. We know the weapons they have on offense, but defense, they're a really talented team on defense as well. So on both sides of the football, they're going to test the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week number 1. But I do think the Buccaneers, even though they got swept last year, both games, I think that they're going to be able to come out of this game with the victory. No more Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins was a QB1 who beat the Buccaneers last year. Always been, we talked about this before, always has been the Buccaneers' kryptonite. Do you like that game?
You like that?
Washington.
That's what made me hate him the most, right there. That game right there. That's
the
game right there. I was in Washington, D.C. for that game. That's the game right there that made me, when I seen that, because we were killing them that game.
Yep.
And they were getting throttled. And then all of a sudden, just this comeback. And then you see Kirk Cousins. You like that? You like that? And I was just like, ooh, dude, I can't. And I just never liked him ever since. And then I think he was banged up last year with the Falcons.
Yeah.
His shoulder gave out on him, and that's I mean, it's
They
unfortunate.
had a first-round draft pick that they really liked too. So they just if they didn't have Michael Penix, he would be the starting quarterback right now. But since you have that young guy that you just want to see what can he do, is he the superstar, the franchise quarterback for your team long term? They want to put him out, put him out there. But yeah, I have them coming in 2nd place, and obviously the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in 1st place. This, to me, is a Super Bowl contender team with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Even with a team like the Green Bay Packers making a trade for Micah Parsons, I still don't think the Packers are a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers overall, at least this year. So I have the Buccaneers coming in 1st, the Falcons coming in 2nd, the Carolina Panthers coming in 3rd, and all the way in the basement. They're still going to give. I've talked about this also on my podcast. The Saints, they're going to come in 4th. But anytime the Saints face Tampa Bay Buccaneers, no matter anytime you face a division rival, even when, because Tom Brady was up there in New England, anytime they would face Miami Dolphins, even though they weren't a good team, they did present challenges when they were playing in Miami.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, they might split the series with the Saints. Doesn't mean the Saints are a good team. It's just those NFC South matchups, those division rivalry matchups are always really, really tough games to play in. So, yeah, those are my rankings for this year.
Any given Sunday, that's what it comes down to. And I hope that the Buccaneers learned a lesson from last year when we were on a high horse. I think we were 2-0 or 3-0, and then we went into Denver and we got punched right in the mouth.
Oh yeah,
and I hope this doesn't happen this year. I think they're a more humble team this year. But yeah, I agree with the NFC South. It's more competitive. These games against the Falcons, the Saints, the Panthers. I'm the series that I'm mostly worried about is the Panthers because we get them on the back end.
We've had that problem before in the past too. Yeah, where you got to beat the Panthers to be able to go into the playoffs. So
Yeah, exactly. So I think we play them week 15 and then week 17. That's tough.
It's the
I
last
got
few
it
games
down
of
at the
the
sports ticker at the bottom here. I
yeah.
think it's 15 and 17. I think we play them. Yeah, week 15, week
Yeah,
17.
last game of the season. Before that, you
Yeah,
got the Miami Dolphins. Before that, you got the Carolina Panthers. So in a 3-week time period, you're facing them twice. So
yeah. I think one thing that they do have going for them at the end of the year is they're relatively close to home. You know what I'm saying? Those games against like the Chargers, like going out west, I don't like that for them. They've never. I mean, I understand that they've done well. Like they wiped the floor with the Chargers last year, but still, that's tough, especially at the end of the season. So it's good that they're kind of close to home there. Um, this game against the Atlanta Falcons, I would be lying if I said I was a little nervous. I mean, I wasn't nervous, but I am a little nervous because we don't know what Michael Penix can do. And this is kind of like, it's Michael Vick kind of all over again. Left-handed quarterback,
yep, exactly.
Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Mike Vick was the ultimate Madden quarterback, real quick, also. If you
Oh
had Mike
yes.
Vick on your team, man, you were unstoppable playing those early Madden 05, Madden 06, all those early Madden games, those mid 2000s, early 2000s Madden games. But I'm sorry, continue.
No, no, you're good, man. I remember I still hated the Falcons back in '04. I really did. I didn't like them. Just NFC South, man. They're a rival, but I did use Michael Vick in Madden. When you go really deep into those franchises, because the computer in those Maddens wasn't very good. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yep.
would release, like you'd see Ray Lewis as a free agent. That would never happen.
No,
Michael Vick was a
exactly.
free agent. I signed Michael Vick. I remember one year I put Ray Lewis and Derek Brooks and Tequil Spikes on the
Yeah.
same defense
Mhm.
and I went undefeated that year in Madden. But then again, that is Madden.
Yeah.
So there is some injuries for the injury report. I'm hearing some stuff about the Falcons. They're pretty banged up. So is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is a segment that I hate doing because I don't really care for injuries at this point. It's at this point, you can sit here and say, "Oh, we lost because of, this guy wasn't in. Oh, we lost because Tristan wasn't in. We lost because Rashad wasn't in." To use an old term from a great, that's bullspit. It's
Yeah.
the next man up. I don't want to hear it. Tristan Wirf's down. Cool. Next man up. Uh, I don't care anybody who's out there on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This year, we're playing for a Super Bowl. That's the main goal. That's the standard that I set for this team. Uh, I'm talking about them like I own the team, but I'm just it's for me and this is the diehard fan coming out. This team, to me looks like one of the best teams in the NFL. Complete. They're complete. They have the tools to win. Uh, a lot of these games. They have the tools to go 13-4. They have the tools to go to the NFC Championship game. They have the players and the guys to go to the Super Bowl. Do you think injuries are going to play, or these early injuries are going to affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the first couple of weeks, or do you think they're going to kind of like how you feeling? What's your vibe? What's your energy on this? Because for
Yeah.
me, I'm not too worried about the injuries. The only injury I'm really worried about is Tristan Wirfs because I keep saying it. I've said it on this show before many times. He's the most important player on this Buccaneers offense, and
Yep.
he's the best player on that
I
offense.
agree. Best player on the
So
offense, possibly best player on the entire team, I would say.
yeah,
Not to put a guy like Mike Evans, he's an all-time great first ballot favorite, but right now in their career, Tristan Wirfs is one of the better players in the NFL, in my opinion. Liam Cohen used to call him a weapon. When you
yeah,
hear an offensive lineman as a weapon.
yeah,
But
exactly.
the Buccaneers return back to practice tomorrow. They practiced yesterday, but we get the first injury report out tomorrow. Yesterday, the players who were out, you had Benjamin Morrison, the second-round pick out of Notre Dame. Josh Hayes was out, and Christian Izien was out. So Christian Izien dealing with that oblique injury. It was a pain tolerance issue. Not certain what the Josh Hayes injury exactly is, the details on that one. Benjamin Morrison dealing with the hamstring injury. He's up, Todd Bowles says he's up for grabs in terms of whether he's going to be available for week number 1 or not. The guys who returned to practice yesterday, Cade Otton. So Cade Otton was dealing with the hamstring injury throughout the preseason and training camp. And then also he was dealing with a lower leg injury or leg injury. And now he returned back to practice. Not a guarantee. Yesterday they did more like a walkthrough. Not a guarantee that he'll play on Sunday. But it is encouraging to see Cade Otton back out there. Sean Tucker and Anthony Nelson also returned to practice. And Tyke Smith was practicing out there. So that's your injury update. We'll see more as we continue throughout the week of exactly, because at any point you can get a new guy pop up on the injury report. But I don't think these injuries early on are going to affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether Kate Otten plays or doesn't, whether Sean Tucker plays or Benjamin Morrison. I don't think these injuries are going to affect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers early. I do agree with you that Tristan Wirfs, that injury is the number one injury on this team. He's going to return likely by week number 3 against the New York Jets and get for the home opener. So he said there was an article with the Tampa Bay Times, and he said week 3 is a maybe. So that's when you can likely see Tristan Wirfs back on the field week 3. If not, week 4 would be a likely return also. So that's the only injury that concerns me early on.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you because same thing. That's Baker Mayfield's blind side,
Exactly.
and do I trust somebody else to kind of come in there and step up? It's your job. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that scares me is that's Baker's blind side. I don't really want to see Baker scrambling out of the pocket anymore like he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I like when he keeps the plays alive and stuff like that. I do. I really do. But I think with Tristan not being there, I think he's going to be scrambling a lot more. So, I mean, later on in the episode, we'll kind of get into detail of what we think the Buccaneers are going to do. But like I said, I think the most important injury on this team right now, not not important. You know what I mean? It's Tristan Wirfs. I mean,
Yep.
we need him back in the worst way to reassure that offensive line because the offensive line is the strong suit of this team.
Yeah, you can
I'm gonna,
survive with a guy like
yeah,
Chris Godwin out for a certain amount of time, but your
yes,
offensive line is so important, especially Baker Mayfield's blind side, like you just said with Tristan Wirfs. Josh Grisard, he's likely going to have to maybe have a bit more of a run game and call more run plays early on than he would have probably liked if Tristan Wirfs was healthy. But getting the ball out quickly is going to be important for Baker Mayfield since his blind side. We don't know if Charlie Heck is going to hold up. They seem confident because they didn't go out and try to, like the Falcons. They have an issue with Michael Penix's blind side. The
right,
right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons, Caleb McGarry, he's out for the entire season with a leg injury. His backup, Storm Norton, he had an ankle injury. He's going to be out for like 6 to 8 weeks. And then so they're on to now Elijah Wilkerson. He's played in the league, 45 career starts, 27 on the right side of the offensive line. But they're still looking for guys. They made a trade for an offensive tackle out of the Seattle Seahawks for a 7th-round pick. Their GM
yep,
said they're still going to keep their eye out for, the Buccaneers. They haven't really, they've given Charlie Heck the entire offseason to gel that offensive line. They haven't gone out there and tried to make trades, at least trades that we know of, or make these signings. It seems like they're confident in Charlie Heck to hold up at least the first 2 games because if you get Tristan Wirfs back week number 3, it's not too big of an overall, looking overall, if you zoom out for the season, if he's just going to miss 2 games, you can survive that.
right. You brought him up. Let's kind of rewind. What did we learn from the preseason? Like as far as because going into this game against the Falcons, it's a very important game. Sorry, Jamie, but I got to say it and Stan. It's a must-win game for the Buccaneers early on because you can't fall behind to the Falcons if they're the biggest threat in the division. A lot of people say it's them, it's the Panthers. I still think the Falcons are kind of like a big threat to us still right now, just because the unknown of Michael Penix. But what I learned from the preseason is that this team is a lot better than last year. And I say that to say this is because guys stepped up. I didn't really see that last year in the preseason. I didn't see anybody that really wowed me. Like there was guys that wowed me. Especially this draft class. Yeah, we had a couple of
Oh, yeah.
injuries in the preseason. But what really wowed me was the reassurance. If Baker was to go down, we have Teddy Bridgewater, the backup quarterback. The uncertainty of Kyle Trask, it was like, is he gonna show up if Baker? Because there was some times where Baker was banged up, and he can't continue to take shots like that. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually he'll wind up missing a game or two, and I really didn't trust Kyle Trask. Uh, the running that I've seen from these running backs in the preseason, and most importantly, the wide receivers with our guy, Emeka Ibuka. Now, there's a
Yep.
lot of people out there that did not want this guy in Tampa. A lot of people. And now, how
It
you
makes
how
sense.
you feel?
Yeah.
How you
Yeah.
that like shout out to Jay Retcher. That pick looks better and better every day. So what I learned from the preseason was that we have a hell of a wide receiving core. Even though McMillan went down, but Emeka Ibuka, I think we're gonna see big things from this kid this year. I think we're gonna see some clutch some clutch catches, some clutch plays from this kid.
Absolutely.
He's strong, man. He's strong. What did you learn from the preseason with the Tampa Bay Bucs?
Yeah. One thing is the return game. The Buccaneers are going to be really dangerous in the return
Yep.
game. You got Cameron Johnson, who had a long 57-yard kick return. You have Tez Johnson, who every time he gets the ball, he looks really, really impressive. Even a guy like Sean Tucker, Josh Williams out there. It doesn't matter who you have kicking, kick returning or return those kicks or punts. I think we're gonna see more big splash plays and special teams that I think we've seen in prior years. I think this is also the strongest special teams unit that we've seen. Special teams doesn't get talked about much. It's like the offense, defense, but special teams is gonna be really impressive this year. Kicker Chase McLaughlin, he's really accurate. He's you can trust him anytime you need him out there on the field. You can trust him. Punter Riley Dixon, we've talked about him. Really good punter, veteran that they brought him this offseason from the Denver Broncos. And then again, and long snapper Evan Deckers, there's been no botched snaps, nothing on that end. And then the kick returners and the punt returners, man. Tez Johnson, Cameron Johnson. You have Sean Tucker, all those guys, man. Josh Williams really, really impressed me. So one thing I learned is that we're going to have a really, even real quick, the guys who are covering those kickoffs and those punt returns. A guy like John Bullock out of Nebraska, the linebacker, he got the edge over Nick Jackson because of the fact that he's really good on special teams covering those kickoffs and those punts. So special teams is going to be a really, really a strong suit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, stronger than I think you're going to see like 50, 60-yard kick returns, possibly like one or two brought back all the way to the house.
I hope so.
I think, it's going to be really, it's not one of those times where you can look on your phone anymore. I think you're going to really want to pay attention anytime they return those kickoffs and those punts. Also, so this one's a little bit more negative, but I think that the Buccaneers, one thing I've learned is that the depth at outside linebacker is really concerning to me. So Hassan Reddick, Yaya Diaby, those guys are going to deliver for you. You would hope Yaya Diaby takes that next step up. Had 4.5 sacks last year. Not something you would expect from Yaya Diaby. So hopefully he takes that next step forward. But behind them, you got Anthony Nelson and you got Chris Braswell, who Chris Braswell was working against second, third, fourth string offensive linemen. Got 1 sack, not enough pressure to really feel confident in him because when the regular season comes around, for the most part, you're going to be going against the first team, offensive lineman when you come in and you have to fill in for Hassan Reddick and Yaya Diaby. And they don't really have that depth that I feel really, really confident in. So if Yaya Diaby or Hassan Reddick goes down, and hopefully there's never a point where both of them go down, but that pass rush group, those edge rushers, the depth there is something that I learned from the preseason is really concerning. They were going to rely heavily on David Walker Jr. out of Central Arkansas. He was going to play a lot. He was going to be that third pass rusher behind Yaya Diaby and Hassan Reddick. But you don't have him anymore. And you have to rely on Chris Braswell, who just, for some reason, just looks, I don't know, he doesn't, we talked about Jamel Dean not having that fire underneath him. It just doesn't feel like Chris Braswell has that fire underneath him that you would expect out of a second-round pick. Kind of is like the Kyle Trask of the edge rusher position, like he just doesn't look like he has that fire, that tenacity. He hasn't so far lived up to that second-round overall selection. So that's what I learned. Special teams, really strong, but the edge rush group, the pass rush depth there is really, really weak, and I'm concerned about that throughout the entire season.
One more thing, for me too, the defense looked better for me. And when I say defense, the secondary. I think the secondary really bailed out a lot of things that the defensive line was doing wrong. When they couldn't really, like Braswell, couldn't really get to the quarterback. Why? Like you just said, you're going against second, third string guys, even fourth string guys that are kind of just playing for a practice squad job. And, it's sad, because we all had high hopes for Chris Braswell. We were hoping he would take the next step. Braswell and Yaya Diaby, that would be a dream, because then you wouldn't have to pay Hassan Reddick all this money next year. Because you got to think, too, if Hassan Reddick balls out this year, he gets 14, 15 sacks. You're going to have to pay that guy. You're going to have to pay that guy, versus if Braswell really started to shine. Say if Braswell came in there and was getting 7 to 8, 9 sacks, now it's kind of easier to make that decision.
Yeah.
But the defensive backs really, especially Jacob Parrish,
I love Jacob.
I am very high on him. Curious to see him line up against some of these Falcon receivers who are kind of banged up. You know what? Let's just get right into this game, because I'm excited. This is week 1. We're finally breaking down.
Finally here.
Finally here. Let's start off with the quarterbacks. Mayfield versus Penix. Yes, I actually spelled his last name right, unlike
Yeah,
some people in the media.
not the other way that's been spelled
Yeah.
quite a few times.
Yeah, this is gonna be a cool matchup. Baker Mayfield, experienced veteran, was written off by a lot of guys in the
Yep.
media, and that's one thing I do wanna say to everybody, continue to support the local Buccaneers media like Pewter Report, like the Frozen
Yep.
Pirate Podcast,
Mhm.
like Fear the Bay, like, just, the loose cannons, like these guys, because you hear a lot of these takes from, people in the media, like, you know, you can tell they don't watch the games,
Oh yeah, those national guys, no.
yeah,
They
they
know the
watch
Eagles, they know the Chiefs, the top teams.
the
But when you hear them talk
Cowboys.
about the Buccaneers, or I forgot who it
It's
was. What's her name that she Joy Taylor? Is it Joy Taylor? I forgot. The lady who
I
did FS1 or something like that. She was like
could
mad that
be.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't at the beginning of training camp, mad that he wasn't out there at training camp. He didn't even sign with the team yet. They don't really know about those lower, those
Uh,
lower bottom tier, not bottom tier, but that next tier down
yeah,
below the Chiefs and the Eagles and all those teams. Yeah, they don't really know this. So yeah,
no,
I would really, really encourage all those Buccaneers fans out there. Listen to guys like Lou. I believe you should have a much bigger voice than you currently have, man. And I love being on this show with you. You're the first
I
guy to
appreciate
have me
that,
on
man.
your podcast, man. You don't know how much I appreciate you for that. But there's guys out there, JC Allen, Loose Cannons, who talked about
Yep.
Mr. Bucks Nation. There's a ton of guys out there locked on Bucks, Real Bucks Talk, who is one of my favorite out there. They do a really good job with film breakdown for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's so many guys out there who do really good Buccaneers content, and I think if you can listen to as many voices that you could possibly listen to, that can only do good for you, man. It's just you hear all these different opinions, and you kind of put them all together, and you kind of have your own opinion. You can put them all together, see what you like, see what you don't like, and just really come up with the most informed decision that you possibly can have, or the most informed thoughts that you possibly have, because you're listening to all these guys. We have so much talent down here in the Buccaneers, Tampa, or even up there, Massachusetts, like you, man. So many guys just
Yeah, I
around this
appreciate it.
team. Really, really, it's a really good market. I don't think there should be much competition. Just listen to everybody, man. Go out there and listen to everybody
Yeah,
that you possibly can.
that's what
Nothing
I've
wrong
always
with it.
said. Yeah, and like I said, at the end of the day, we're all Bucks family, man. We're the crew. We're Bucks Nation, and like I said, a lot of the stuff that I hear from the media, like, man, like sometimes driving in, you listen to Sports Center. Like, I have a 40-minute commute to work. Man, you
Yeah.
listen to some of that stuff out there, and you're just like, what is going on? Like, what you don't watch the games. You
What team
don't
are you
know.
watching? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just crazy to think, like, you still have some people out there that don't think Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. There's some people who don't really know about Levante David, and I get it. We're Buck fans. We
Yeah.
know these guys, but still, I mean, the stats don't lie. But speaking of stats, we got this quarterback competition of Baker Mayfield,
Yep.
Michael Penix Jr., local kid, I believe from Tampa,
Yep. Yep.
left-handed quarterback. Do you think the Buccaneers are gonna struggle with a left-handed quarterback? Do you think the defense do you think it's gonna throw them off a little bit? What's your
Man,
take on this?
I don't know until we see it. The Buccaneers don't really face many left-handed quarterbacks. In the NFL right now, as the starter, you got him, you got Tua out there. So the Buccaneers don't see the Dolphins besides every 4 years, unless they see them in the preseason.
Right.
But Raheem Morris didn't play the starters out there this preseason. Michael Penix Jr. has 3 career starts. He wasn't out there. So I'm interested to see, is there any rust on Michael Penix Jr. when he comes in week number 1? I'm sure there's going to be rust on all these guys. But not having your inexperienced quarterback out there, he's essentially a rookie with 3 career starts. He doesn't have a full season
Yeah.
under his belt. So I would have thrown him out there just like a few drives, just get him back, and that the game, because you can play in practice, you can do all these things. Nothing's like those live reps in a game where everything's uncontrolled. It's just you go out there and you're competing against another defense. Baker Mayfield did not participate also in the preseason, but like you talked about, he's a veteran. He's been around, he's been around for quite a long time now. Okay, Michael Penix Jr., the unknown. I think he's going to do good this season. The Atlanta Falcons are such a talented team. You got Drake London out there who, he can really hurt the Buccaneers anytime he's out there. Michael Penix, he loves Drake London. You got Bijan Robinson at running back, Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney came back to practice recently. They have a lot of talent on this team, and Michael Penix Jr. is just going to be able to benefit from that. But whether they're going to struggle against a left-handed quarterback, we'll see, because this is the first time that the Buccaneers are going to see Michael Penix Jr. out there. So it's going to be really interesting to see.
Oh, yeah, I agree. So I did a little bit of research on him. he's one of the fastest quarterbacks to release the ball during pressure, and I know Todd Bowles likes to pressure
Yep.
quarterbacks and disguise blitzes and stuff like that, but he did struggle a little bit with disguise when blitzes would come when the opposing team was blitzing him from different directions, he gets a little flustered. The key for me, for Michael Penix Jr. is this: you have to just, you know what? This person who just commented, blunt beats, we just gotta keep pressure on him and hit him early.
Yeah.
Literally just took the words out of my mouth. Maybe I should give that guy the free jersey. That's still coming up later on in the show,
Yeah.
free jersey giveaway, and right on cue, man. I real quickly, I want to bring in. We'll get back to the Falcons talk, but we have a guest here that I'd like to bring in, Mr. DJ Ups. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? What's going on, Louis? How you doing,
How,
man?
how's it going, man? So
Pretty good,
Jay,
man. Looks like y'all was talking about Baker versus Mike, huh?
Yeah.
yeah. So, we real quickly, I don't know how much time you got because we got something special that we're going to talk about to the audience as well. Uh, what's your take on this week 1 matchup, man? Because like I said, me and Daniel, this is Jay, this is Daniel. Daniel
Yeah,
is
man. You doing good?
news contributor to the Pewter Report. Now, what's your take on Michael Penix versus Baker Mayfield, man? How you feeling about this matchup? First and foremost, yo, football's back. Week
Yeah.
I'm
1's
telling
here.
you, bro. Hey, I watch football as I'm at work, bro. It's the best feeling ever being out late night delivering packages and just hearing first down Tampa Bay. Like it's the best
Yep.
feeling ever, bro. But my take on the Michael Penix and Baker Mayfield thing is Mike's still young. Actually, what's crazy is I delivered to his grandma.
Oh,
But
wow.
Cool.
Mike's super young. He still has a lot of time to grow and figure it out. They don't have the pieces that we have, man. They don't have an Igbuka. They don't have a Mike Evans. They have Drake London, but he hasn't come to form. Same with Kyle Pitts. They haven't come to form. They haven't panned out just yet. Um, we have future Hall of Famers on our roster ready to go. They know what the goal is. They know they've been there and done it before. And
Yep.
Levante and Mike, it's all about experience, bro.
Right.
And that experience,
Absolutely.
I think with us winning 4 years in a row, why not 5? Let's take it for a 5th time.
I hear you. Like I said, I was just saying with Michael Penix, you have to hit him and pressure him early. Like you have to get to him. You got to fluster him. You got to rattle him. Make him play like a
Yeah.
lefty. That's what it comes down to.
That's
man.
my only worry. I want to see how our defensive front's gonna come at the quarterback this year. We
Yeah.
haven't had it like we're used to. A Bucs fan is accustomed to in the past few years. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that strike is back.
Yeah, me too, man. Because like I said, we've been talking about this for a little bit now about this defense, how the defense needs to step up. And I said last year, the offense is going to carry this defense because I didn't like what I seen in the preseason last year, and it
Yeah.
came true, unfortunately, and we fell a little bit short. But this year, I don't want to hear about injuries. I think this team has enough depth on the team for the
Mhm.
next man mentality. I mean, I hate to say it because he just he got his doors blown off this weekend. Bill Belichick's Tar Heels, but
Yeah.
he was right. Do your job. That's all this team has to do. It's cliche, but I mean, it's the Patriot way, I guess. But Brady brought that down to Tampa. You just got to do your
Yeah.
job,
And it's
man.
been here
Everybody,
since, even though he's
yeah,
gone, it's still there.
yeah, and then that's a big thing too. Like the losing is no longer acceptable, and that's why I've been saying this year is the year. I predict the Buccaneers and the Ravens in the Super Bowl this year. That's my Super Bowl pick. And I'm predicting Emeka Ibuka to get Rookie of the Year because I
Yeah.
mean
Oh
he's
yeah.
gonna go off. That's what I'm. That's kind of like where I'm at. I have a feeling he's gonna go off this year. He's gonna get a lot of targets because McMillan's gonna be out for what
Out for
9
6
weeks,
weeks.
Yep.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So
It
I
was 6
mean,
minimum. Yeah, 6 minimum.
yeah.
You know how that goes.
Oh yeah,
And then Chris
and
isn't gonna be back until week 5 or 6 as well. So
yeah, I'm thinking with Chris, it's probably gonna be in November, man. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised because
that
that was
ankle
a
was
bad
nasty,
injury.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
that
was
was a bad
nasty, bro.
injury. Bad injury. All right, let's get right to it, man. So I seen that you posted a video on your Instagram. I was scrolling one day and I stopped and I seen your video. And it kind of hit me because I was one of those kids who didn't have a Halloween costume one time.
Yep,
Actually, a few
me too.
times growing up. And it's not a
Mhm.
good feeling. And it sucks when you look out the window and you see kids trick or
And
treat in your neighborhood and
And they
you
have
don't have a
the flies
costume, and
costumes. Yeah.
yeah, and that kind of struck, like, that hit me, man. And I wanted to get you on here so that way you can promote. Just so you know, I'm donating. I got a bunch of people that are willing to donate towards your cause. So just explain
That's
to
so dope. I
everybody.
appreciate that, man.
No, man, like I said, hey, if I win, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm not accepting that jersey. What I want to do, if I do win,
Well, I
I
want you to. I so at the show I did, I had my bosses Jamie and Jamie. You met him on the show before.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, he actually was generous enough to let me. I had to provide the jerseys, but he let me get a nice amount of jerseys to do things like this.
Oh
So I
wow.
have something I'm gonna do for Thanksgiving as well. Try to get
Oh,
some
that's
some
awesome.
family, some Thanksgiving dinners and turkeys and things like that.
Man, that's
Well,
great.
man,
Yep.
like, whenever you want to do something like that, hit me up, man. We'll collaborate because, like I said, I'm more than
Oh
open
yeah.
to doing that. And like I said, I'm gonna get a couple of raffle tickets. And like I said, if my name gets picked out of there, just so you know, that jersey's gonna get put back right to. I want to auction it off and do the same thing, and whatever money that we get from that, I'll put it right to whatever you're doing for Thanksgiving as well.
I appreciate
Because
that, bro.
yeah, man. Because like I said, like, when you did that video, like, Daniel, I don't know about you, but like I said, I didn't there was a lot of Halloweens I didn't have when growing up as a kid, and that really it sucks, man, you know what I'm saying? You wanna indulge on some candy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can't, and it sucks. So, how can we go about donating? Just give us the information. How can we go about doing this?
Okay, so we're doing a I guess you can call it raffle for some autograph gear, some Bucks autograph gear. Actually, we also have a Yankees jersey as well. We're doing it for costumes for kids. I'm going to provide 6 kids with the opportunity to go shop at Spirit Halloween. They have $100 budget, so I'm raising $600 total. But they'll have $100 budget to go through Spirit Halloween and pick whatever they want, and they can be whatever they want, and I'll make sure that it's paid for. And if it's even a little more than $100, I'll take care of that on my end as well. I'm auctioning off 4 jerseys. One's a Kalijah Cansey autograph jersey. I have Antoine Winfield, Tristan Wirfs, and Orlando Hernandez El Duque from the Yankees World Series teams, all autographed. 5 tickets for $25, or if you just want to get 1 ticket, it's only $10. So, and I also actually GoFundMe just approved me to be able to just raise money if somebody just wants to donate a few bucks. They don't want to enter the raffle. I'm going to pin that into my link or into my bio as well here in a little bit. So you can do it that way as well. I have a few options, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Trying to raise some money for some little kids to go pick out some cool Halloween costumes and not have to make them like I did when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Man, that's gonna be awesome. That's really cool, man. What you're doing, those kids are gonna remember that forever. That's gonna be one of those
Yeah.
those
I
lifelong
just want to make
memories.
a difference, bro. In a
Yeah,
world where everybody hates each other over
oh,
yeah,
politics,
yeah.
I just want to be the difference and try to spread some positivity. It's so easy to gravitate towards negativity nowadays and hate each other over something so small. Hate each other over people that don't even know who we are. Whether it's
Yeah,
Democrat or Republican, they don't even
I
know who
agree.
we are. So
Yeah, I agree.
to hate my fellow American and call myself an American, and that's hypocrisy at its finest. So I want to do something and bring light to positivity, and let's get some kids shopping through the Halloween spirit store and frolicking and getting their princess dresses or their Super Mario outfit or whatever it
Yep.
may be.
Yeah, whatever it is. Nah, man,
I'd rather put some light on that than everything that's going on right now.
no, I agree with everything you just said, man. Like, we live in a crazy world now.
Yep.
Unfortunately, people, like you just said, hate each other over politics, religion, or whatever it is, and it's just like,
Yeah,
man, we're
exactly,
all,
bro. All of
you
it.
know, you know
Yep.
what color we are when we get buried. We're all the same color. I'm telling you right now,
It's all
we're
white
all
bones,
skeletons,
bro.
man. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
That's what it comes down to.
White
None of this
bones, bro.
stuff, yeah, none of this stuff really makes it like none of this stuff matters, man. Like I said, with the politics, and I tried not to get political and stuff like that, man. But at the end of the day, they fatten up their pockets, they play a game, and we just kind of
Exactly.
play.
All of them,
Uh,
not just
yeah,
one side. All of
yeah,
them.
it is. But now, man, I appreciate you coming on here. I appreciate you doing
I
this, man. Because
appreciate
like
y'all
I
having
said,
me, bro.
no, man, like I said, it's just something like that. We need to bring more positive into the community. We need to bring more light and stuff like that. I like. I like doing, man, because again, I was one of those kids who didn't have a costume. I wish someone
Yep.
like you was around when I was a kid to do something like that because that sucks, man. To go trick or treating, to not go trick or treating because you don't have a costume, or
Yep.
sometimes you
Yep,
have to make your own
exactly.
costumes. It's funny now because now I find myself making my own costumes now, and they
Because you want
actually
to
I
though. It's
because I
not a
want to, yeah.
necessity. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly, and but I really appreciate what you're doing, man. A lot of people would sit there and just hold on to those jerseys, and you're just kind of auctioning them off, and that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
We need a lot of people like you, man. That's awesome what you're doing. So, um, ex- excuse me, real quick. I got the wrong water here. I thought I was getting the right water. Apparently, I don't know what this is. I was trying to get sparkling water. I don't know. I have this thing now with sparkling water, and that's just I don't know what that is.
That's not
But
it.
look,
Yeah.
that's not it. It's good, but I don't know. It's still water. I don't know. It's a little weird, for my
Yeah.
liking. But no, let everybody know exactly where they can go because again, I'm gonna redirect a lot of people your way to
Yep.
start donating because, like I said, this is something that hopefully I want to see you earn more than that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
I could provide more costume. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
you know what? And I'm very big on Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorite times of the year, man.
It's the
So it
it's the whole season that's coming up. The Halloween,
yeah.
the Thanksgiving, the Christmas. It's all for the kids, man. It's the kids. I just
Yep.
want to see them happy, smiles on their faces. That's it.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. And like I said, let everybody know again where exactly they can go and donate for you, just in case
I got
anybody's
you.
joining and they just missed it, or you didn't
So
people I know people's attention span sometimes. So
yeah, go away real quick. Yeah, I got
yeah, oh
you.
yeah,
So if you go to my page, my Instagram page or my Facebook page, you'll see the details on how to donate or purchase a ticket. My Facebook is J Pringle, Jay space Pringle like the chips, like a singular Pringle. Or if you can go follow me on Instagram or look on my Instagram page, the link for the GoFundMe will be in my bio. It's at underscore DJ UPS like UPS,
Yep.
DJ Ups. Um, you can donate to the GoFundMe that's in the bio, or you can send me a DM and say, "Hey, I want to buy 5 tickets, or I want to buy 1 ticket." Um, that 5 tickets obviously will give you better chance at winning, but 5 tickets is only $25. 1 ticket is only $10. We're trying to. I'm actually halfway to the goal already. So I had somebody
Uh,
send a generous donation in of $100, and that I went to high school with actually, and she was like, "It's for the kids. Just I don't even
that's
want
awesome.
tickets." She just sent in a donation, and we're at $300 out of the 600 in only 6 days. So yeah, we might actually surpass the goal.
that's
So that would
awesome.
be dope. Take more
That's
kids.
awesome, man. Hey,
Yeah,
you know what? Like I said, Halloween was one of my favorite holidays. It's well, it's not a holiday. It should be a holiday in my opinion.
yeah.
But honestly, like I said, if you want to start doing something every year with that, like I'm locked in with that. I really I want to help you out with that as much as I possibly can. And even like
I want to
Thanksgiving,
do it, make it
Christmas.
bigger every year. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
do like I don't know. A toy drive is so much work,
Yeah.
but I want to
Oh
try
yeah.
to do something like maybe I'll DJ at a park and I have some friends with bounce houses and I can get some hot dogs or something and just do a big cookout and just everybody brings a toy and bring a donation or
Yeah.
something and we'll figure
Yeah.
it out from there. Something, But I do want to do more things for the community because like you said, man, we were less fortunate kids growing up and I don't want to see any kids struggle where right
Yeah,
now
it's
at
tough to
all.
see, man.
So
It's tough to
yeah,
see.
it's rough. And I just look at it, I see myself, I'm just like, dang, man, what can I do to help this little kid?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just want to make a difference. And if we can do that, then hey, let's team up and do it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm aboard for that. Absolutely. Like I said, feel free to reach out, and like I said, I'll be reaching out to you whenever you start doing more things like this. And like I said, we'll get you back on the show, and we'll continue to promote this. Like I said, I want you to reach that goal. And like I said, after the show's over, I'm gonna contribute my donation. I got a few people here that are willing to contribute. Got a couple of guys at work that might contribute. So we'll see what happens, man. Like I said, anything else you want to add, man? Floor is
Make
yours, my
sure
friend.
make sure you go stream Buccaneer Time by DJ Ups. All my Bucks fans, it's the new hype song we got. I made sure, unfortunately, I didn't put any players' names in it, but I wanted to make sure it was a song that we could have that could come back every year so that you don't have to worry about like you heard the song with Crazy from when we were kids. The Welcome to Atlanta beat.
Yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
naming
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Derrick Brooks. It's
Yeah.
not. It's
Yeah.
obsolete now for the most part because
Yeah.
they're not playing anymore. So I made sure not to put any names in it, but go stream Buccaneer Time by DJ Ups, download it, stream it. If you want to get into the music video, I'm doing a scene at Raymond James Stadium at Al Lopez Park on September 21st for opening day. So make sure you wear any Buccaneer gear. We'll get you in the video. I'm doing hot dogs, mac and cheese, baked beans. We're gonna have a party
Nice.
out there. And I'm gonna be DJing. So bring your kids as well. I'm feeding everybody. Everybody's getting in the video. And I'm actually raffling off an Antoine Winfield jersey there as well. So
That's
make sure
awesome,
you hit
man.
me up and I'll get you all the info you need.
No, that's gonna be if you don't mind, we talked about this earlier. I think that's gonna be the new intro for the Frozen Pirate podcast, man. Because like
Yes,
when you
sir. I'm gonna
drop
get that
that,
sent to you ASAP.
yo, when I heard it, I was just like, and I heard John Gruden, hey, 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 we're the Buccaneers, and
Yeah.
then the beat dropped. I was just like, okay, okay. My girl was even dancing to
Yeah.
it. I caught her in the background. She was getting hyped to it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me reach out to him. I want to, because with copyrights and all this stuff, believe me, there's so many songs that I thought of, and now that the platform's starting to get bigger a little bit, now I'm just kind of
Have
like,
an
all right,
actual song for
I
us.
need an
Yeah.
actual song, yeah, because like I sat there on
Yeah.
GarageBand and like started making some instrumentals and stuff like that. Some came out really good, but I lost a lot of my stuff, so I
Yeah.
kind of had to start from scratch again. But yeah, man, like I said, if you don't mind, I'd like to use that for
I got you, bro. I'll
the
send it
intro.
over. Send me your phone number and I'll send it to you through text.
All right, perfect, man. All right, DJ Ups. Thank you for coming here on the Frozen Pirate podcast. Like I
Thanks to
said,
Frozen Fire Podcast for having me. I appreciate y'all, man, for real.
nah, man.
DJ,
Like I
you're a
said,
great guy, man. I'm
yeah,
gonna
we
share your
appreciate
stuff
you.
out there, man. That's really
Thank you,
cool
bro.
what you're doing for those kids. And you got me here
Thank you,
thinking,
bro.
what can I do to help out kids? Also, man, just you're a good guy, man. And I'm excited to see how successful you are with this charity donation you're doing, man. You're doing
I
a lot of good work,
appreciate
man.
it, bro. I
All
appreciate
right,
it, bro.
man. We appreciate
All
you,
right,
brother.
y'all.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
man.
go Bucks. Tampa Bay, baby. Let's
Let's
go.
go. Peace.
All right, bro. BC.
He's an
Man,
awesome
great guy,
dude,
man.
man. Yeah, like I said, I was watching, like I said, I was kind of scrolling through, and I know we kind of got off the topic here, and I know a lot of people want to get back to the Buck stuff, but I mean, when it comes down to the kids and stuff like that, man, when I was
Yep.
kind of scrolling through, and I seen what he was doing, like just him talking about it, like I said, man, I was just like, that was me as a kid.
Yeah.
There was times growing up, like, yeah, like life got a little bit better as I got older, but I mean, like early on in childhood, like a lot of bad memories, man, like just growing up poor, and the area I was in, and my parents really couldn't buy me Halloween costumes. Like they bought me a couple here and there, but there was times where you had to make your own, or sometimes I had nobody to
And
go
they're
trick-or-treating
expensive,
with.
man. You want like,
Oh
when
God,
you're a
yeah.
kid, you want something like current, like this year's the Superman movie. You want this.
Right.
The kids are probably gonna be wearing that Superman costume. But
Oh,
every
yeah.
year they bump up those prices, man. Like
Oh,
it was
yeah.
getting. I saw it growing up for like 30 to 40 to 50. They keep going up and up and up and up. And now like he has a budget for the kids at $100 because those costumes are getting up there in price, man. And I
Yeah.
remember like just there was a few years when as a kid, first day of school, you want to show out. You want to look as good as you possibly can. I remember a few years where, like 1 or 2 years where we couldn't get new shoes, right. And, I loved shoes at the time, the Jordans and Nikes, all those things, man. And, we just couldn't afford it at the time, as things progressed, we got better and better and better. But, it's just, I understand exactly where, he's coming from and all that stuff. It's just such an awesome thing that he's doing with those kids. And I'm excited to see how he does with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you guys missed it, DJ Ups, you can find them on Facebook, Jay Pringle. He has, I believe he said, a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
All the link is available there. If not, if you guys can't find it, feel free to DM him on Instagram, DJ Ups. Hit him up with a message, dude. And like I said, and go donate, man. Like I said, I'm going to donate after the show's over. I got a couple of people that are going to donate. And I like doing that because, again, I was one of those kids who didn't have that. And I know what that feels like. And that's, excuse my language, it's a shitty feeling as a kid, man. That you miss out. There's only so many Halloweens you get to experience as a kid, then you get older and you kind of do other things, whatever. But like one thing with me, I make sure like I spoil my kid now. Now he has like 2 costumes now, one for our Halloween party and one to go trick or treating. So I mean, we're going to Disney this weekend. and he's gonna with doing the Halloween spectacular. He's already got a costume for that, and then he wants me to make him this mask that I used to wear for Halloween. And I'm like, I don't know, Cody, that mask is kind of out there, kind of weird for it to be on a kid like you. But I appreciate Jay for doing what he's doing. That's awesome, man. Like I said, guys, please go
Great
donate.
guy.
It's going to a good cause. It's going to a good cause. All right, let's get back to it. Mayfield, Penix, we talked about this. What do you think? How do you think Mayfield's going to come out? Because it's not a new offense, but it's somewhat new. Coach Grizzard
Yeah.
is taking over for the offense. I don't think we got to see everything in the preseason. What they really
Very
wanted to.
vanilla offense. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we got an idea of what they wanted to do. It kind of reminded me of like what they were doing in the preseason, kind of like when you first get Madden and you kind of running a couple of plays that you like running in practice.
You don't know the
mode.
whole playbook. Yeah, you're just trying to
Yes.
figure things out.
Yeah, and I think that's what he was trying to do with that offense. I think you're going to see something a lot different. I think I don't expect Baker to have like this 300 passing yard game. I want to say maybe 219, 240 yards passing in this game. I think they're going to run the football heavy because I think Atlanta is really going to try and take advantage of the Buccaneers not having Tristan Wirfs on the left side. And I just knowing what I know about Raheem Morris and the Atlanta Falcons, I know they upgraded the defense a little bit, but I don't really think it's going to phase Baker too much because I think the Buccaneers are going to have their way with the Falcons by running the football, and I think it's going to be a pretty easy day for Baker, if you will.
Okay.
That's
So
kind of
yeah,
bold.
I would agree that they would rely on that run game, a bit to the right side, not the left side with Charlie Hack out there. We try to run out to the right with Bucky Irving. But this team is the Falcons team. They're very talented on defense. You just talked about their defensive backfield. You got AJ Terrell out there. He's going to be lining up mostly probably against Mike Evans. You got Jesse Bates III, one of the better safeties, if not one of the top, 3, 4, 5 safeties in the league. Xavier Watts, he's a kid I really, really like. I was watching him a lot, doing a deep dive into the Atlanta Falcons, man. He was the 3rd round selection this year for the Atlanta Falcons out of Notre Dame. And you watch him, man, I'm like, man, I wish the Buccaneers would have found a way to
I wanted him.
draft him.
Dude,
Yeah,
I wanted
Xavier
him. He was
Watts,
one of the
man.
guys on my board. I wanted him.
Teammates
I was
with
doing live
Benjamin
stream.
Morrison and all that. Now, again, they did pick they had him on the board, they picked Jacob Parrish over him, and we talked about Jacob Parrish. He looked really good out there throughout training camp and the preseason. He looked so good, and they had so much just like upside. They loved his upside so much that really early on, like he was starting at nickel, with the first team defense. So he's been there from pretty much the get-go with those guys. But man, Xavier Watts, the Falcons have a nice piece of safety with Jesse Bates III and Xavier Watts out there. He's a pick machine. He's always around the football. He had 7 interceptions as a junior for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's just, man. I really wish the Buccaneers would have found a way to get him because he looks really good, man. And he's going to have a good career, I'm sure, with the Atlanta Falcons. They have a good mix of young players like Ruccaroro on the defensive line. And you got all those. They spent pretty much the last 2 draft classes just drafting defensive players, man. And James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker out of Georgia. This is a young, promising team. They're not as good as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, but if they develop the way that you would expect these guys to develop next year, like this year's already hard for the Buccaneers with the Atlanta Falcons. Next year, when they already had another year underneath their belt, man, the Falcons and Buccaneers, it's going to be a rivalry for the next few years for that NFC South crown.
Oh yeah, and I was hearing talks about Kyle Pitts getting traded. He really hasn't panned out. I think the biggest problem that the Falcons have is like that tight end problem because you see he's a lot like OJ Howard. A lot of people compare him to OJ Howard. Yeah, you hate to say it. Is it Kyle Pitts or is it the Falcons? I guess we're gonna figure that out this year. Who knows? He may have a breakout year, but man, Massachusetts this time with the weather right now, it's like it's really hot during the day now, and then it gets really cold at night.
Yeah,
like it's I don't know. I'm not really liking it. I kind of like it when it hits October out here because it gets really crisp. Like the air gets really crisp. It's that nice, like it's in the 40s at night and stuff. It's chilly, but it's not bad. And then the day it warms up. But like this time when it's still hot and then it drops down
Yeah.
to cold, it kind of messes with it. And I like doing
Yep.
the show outside because unfortunately, not like Florida, we have the opportunity to hibernate inside for the next what is it, November, December, January, February, March, April is really it's about 6 months you're inside the house.
Mhm.
We don't get the luxury of
But
palm
in Florida,
trees
you
and
want
nice
to go
weather.
inside the house because you want to get inside that AC.
I
So
love the
you
heat, man.
know,
I'm telling you, I
you
love
love the heat,
I
man.
I
Okay.
do. I love the
Yeah,
heat.
yeah.
The heat doesn't bother me one bit. Like
Mhm.
I said, I was out there. It was like 98 degrees every
Yeah.
day, and I was fine. And we were at the
Mhm.
worst place in the world, Busch Gardens.
Yep,
It's
yep, yep.
98 degrees, man. And I was just like, whatever. Like it's hot, whatever. Yeah, I was sweating, but it was all good. But yeah, with Kyle Pitts, man, uh, it, I'm kind of gonna predict him to be a problem in this game because I think him and Michael Penix, to me, a tight end is always a quarterback safety blanket,
Yep. Mhm.
and I feel like Kyle Pitts might be a problem early on in this game because, in all reality, nobody's really expecting anything from Kyle Pitts. A lot of people are labeling him as a bust. There's been trade talks, trade rumors about him. So I think he's one of those guys that are going to be flying under the radar in this game for Michael Penix. But I think another guy that's going to be flying under the radar this game for me is going to be Rashad White. I think Rashad White
Yep.
coming into this game, he's got a lot to prove week 1. I think he's going to make a big impact in this game because, like I said, it's a contract year for Rashad White. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be back with the Bucs because there's about 15 teams that he can be a starter for. And you know what I'm saying? And then we have the privilege of having Sean Tucker, who can be a second string running back on any
They
team
like
in the
Josh
NFL.
Williams too. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Josh
undrafted
Williams
free,
too.
man. Yep.
So those two guys for me are going to be key contributors for for their respectful clubs. Who do you think is going to really show up in this quarterback matchup? Who do you think is going to? How can I say this? Who do you think is going to have the better game, if you will?
Yeah.
You think Penix is going to have an edge over Mayfield because of the injury to Tristan, or do you think Mayfield is just going to say, "Nope, not today"?
It's pretty much even with that because they both have their blind side out with the Buccaneers, Tristan
Right.
Wirfs, and then on the for the Atlanta Falcons, Caleb Gary. I think I give the edge here to Baker Mayfield. I think he's a top 5 quarterback. We talked about this before. When you take away the interceptions, he needs to lower down his interceptions. But all the other quarterback metrics,
Right.
whether it's third down win rate, touchdowns, passing yards, everything else, completion percentage, all this stuff. He's up there. He's really high, top 5, oftentimes top 2, behind guys like Joe Burrow and players like that. But he has to get down to his interceptions. He has the experience, man. Michael Penix Jr. This is gonna be his 4th career start in the NFL. He's basically a rookie. He
Yeah.
has one more than a preseason game under his belt, basically with the preseason 3 games, and now he's gonna have a 4th game under his belt here. But this has the potential to turn into a shootout, possibly. But I don't think
Ooh,
so week number
okay.
1 because of the fact that most of these guys, like the Falcons, didn't put their starters out there during the preseason. They're going to be rusty. There's going to be a ramp up period. It's going to look, there's going to be ugly football early on in the regular
Oh yeah.
season because a lot of guys don't play preseason football anymore. They do. The choice is now for most teams, the top choice is to have these joint practices. And they're good for things like injuries. You have a controlled environment. You want to see how a young quarterback does in like a 2-minute drill where you work with the other team. You guys set that up, So that's where we're going to. The NFL, we'll see what we do with the preseason because they're really lower down to 3 games. If they're only going to have fully backups out there for the majority, we'll see how this trend continues. Maybe they cut that down to 2 games or something. The NFL wants to make as much money and have as much viewership as they possibly can. But yeah, I give the edge to Baker Mayfield here. He's a veteran. Michael Penix Jr., 4 career starts. He could be a superstar. Possibly. We don't know what he is, though. He's an unknown. He's an enigma at this point. But yeah, I give the edge to Baker Mayfield here. It could turn into a shootout, but I doubt it's going to turn into a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be a shootout early on in the season, because like you said, everybody's rusty, man. It's week
Yep.
1. You're going to see a lot of guys cramping up. I think. Hopefully that's not Mike, and that's not a shot at Mike.
First
but
guy I thought about. Yep.
Yeah, it's just I want to see Mike break this record. I want to see Mike surpass Jerry Rice. I want him to get the
he wants to get to 1K a lot faster than last year, where it had to be the final play against New Orleans Saints to end out the season. Bit cutting out here.
No, should
Think you're back here. We're good?
Yeah, I think we're
Okay,
good.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of nerve-wracking, man, last year.
Final.
Seeing Mike final play, like, is he gonna get it? Not only that, like, what if that was an interception to the house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bucky
That
Irving had the touchdown before and he thought it was over. The defense went out there. They wanted Mike to get that 1,000-yard season, and they did all they could.
Let me ask you real quick. When you saw that transpire, when you saw Bucky just take it into the house, how did you feel about that? Because for me, when I was watching that, I felt like defeated. I was just like, yeah, we scored, but Mike's not getting 1,000 yards. That kind of bothered me, dude.
Yeah. If you got an opportunity to score, you score. So I'm not going to fault, Bucky Irving for that. But I did think, that was it. This is the first time we're not going to see Mike Evans get that 1K yards. That he has the record he's the most consistent wide receiver. Him and Jerry Rice to start off their careers, and I think, like I told you before, I think he's going to go 13 straight 1K seasons and call it a career. He has a few years left. He wants to be in the Olympics in a few years, and he's going to get to that 13K. That's his number, and retire after that, I believe. So Buccaneers we talked about the Super Bowl winner with this team. Mike Evans, he allows you to have that Super Bowl window. He's not the only part, but he allows you to have that. So, it's going to – I don't want to say it's going to close, but it's going to – we'll see how guys like Jalen McMillan and Mecca Buka step up. But, yeah, man, it just – when I saw Bucky Irving score, I'm like, that's it. But no, thankfully it wasn't for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and for Mike Evans.
Yeah, the defense actually showed up that drive, man. And it was bittersweet because they did it against the Saints. Speaking of Mike – I expect Mike to be the X factor in this game. I think he's going to have his way with AJ Terrell. I just think that the way Mike Evans has trained this year, the way he looks, how he's moving, in my opinion, he looks fantastic. He looks like he's only been in the league 4 years.
I've seen him in training camp. He doesn't look like he's taking a step back, man. He looks the same as he's done before in prior years.
Yeah, and I kind of predicted. I was like, hey, we don't have much time left with Mike. And I did say, I'm like, I think Mike might take a step back. Those big, tall wide receivers, especially him with his hamstring issues and the legs and the knees and all that stuff, it takes a toll on you. They take beatings, you know what I'm saying? But when I seen Mike this year, like just in the offseason training, and that kind of came from Brady when Brady got down here.
Yeah, he's taking so much better care of his body since Brady came in. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And I look at Mike now and I'm like, dude, he looks like he's 24, 25. Like the way he takes care of himself, I think he's primed for a very big year. I think this is going to be his biggest year yet. But he's going to be my X factor this Sunday. I mean, he's, like you said, he's the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL. Nobody's been more consistent than him in the past 12 years. And anytime we have Mike Evans on this team, I'm telling you, the Buccaneers always have a shot at the Super Bowl because when it comes down to it, clutch time, this dude shows up.
Yeah,
you can go back and look at all these playoff games. Mike has made some catches that no other guy has made to keep his team alive. And when your back's against the wall, I'm throwing the ball to Mike because he's so consistent. Like I don't know if you remember back when when they were playing the Lions. Unfortunately, we lost in the playoffs. To that interception. I believe Baker was trying to go to Cade.
Yeah.
But it got picked off. But that whole game, Mike stepped up in that second half. He was making some big-time catches, made some big-time touchdowns. He's one of the most reliable targets. He's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. There's still people who think that this guy's not a top 5 wide receiver. You're smoking some good dope, man. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
Yeah. Some guys, some wide receivers in the league, some of the top guys, if they don't have a good quarterback throwing to them, they're not successful.
No.
You've seen Mike Evans throw his entire career, whether it's Jameis Winston, Mike Glennon, Josh McCown, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, whoever's throwing him the ball, he finds a way to come down. It's like if you remember when Jameis Winston was here, the meme where it was like, Mike Evans is down there somewhere. You just can rely on Mike Evans to come down with the ball and to give you, the production you're looking for with Mike Evans. And final play of the game, whatever it is, I would want to throw it to Mike rather than Mike and Chris Godwin when he's fully healthy, because Chris Godwin can make those clutch third, fourth down catches, whatever you need him to do, he can do. But I like your X factor. Do you have an X factor for the defense also before I get into mine?
Oh, my X factor for the defense, I'm gonna say, is Antoine Winfield Jr. because he always
Yeah.
balls out against the Atlanta Falcons. And Antoine has a big chip on his shoulder right now. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you say that, Louis? Because he was very inconsistent last year. He was labeled the top safety in the league. And then I think he played a total of 6 or 9 games? Or he missed
Somewhere around there. Yep. Or
somewhere
missed,
around that.
I think missed. Yeah. I can't remember.
See, I'm already my brain's already programmed to forget about last
2025.
year. It's 2025 now. I think he's coming back and he's gonna be better. I think he's gonna end up being one of the best players on our defense. I expect him to be the X factor because there was a big time catch that Drake London made again on him. It was a deep ball. I don't know if you remember that. I think that was last year. Deep ball, and Drake came down with it on Antoine, and I kind of gave Drake London the nickname of Baby Mike Evans because he's the same height as him. He kind of plays like him a little bit. Not quite there. I don't think he will get there. Sorry, Falcon fans. Just saying, it's just the truth. But the kid's got a lot of talent. But I mean, Antoine Winfield Jr., I think he's gonna come out like a bat out of hell. I think he's gonna be hitting people. I think he's got something to prove. I really do. So my X factor right now is definitely going to be Antoine Winfield Jr. for the defense, and he's always had his way with Atlanta. And Mike Evans, two of the more veteran, battle-tested guys. And I want to see Emeka Egbuka really show the NFL who he is, because a lot of people, including some people out there, I know you're watching, didn't want Emeka Egbuka on this team. And boy, like Jay Retcher said, boy, that pick looks better and better. Who are your X factors, man?
Yeah. So I like your 2 X factors. For me, I think that since Chris Godwin's out and Jalen McMillan's out, the Falcons are really going to focus on double teaming Mike Evans. So I think that they're going to try to take him out of the game the best that they possibly can. Have a safety over the top, do whatever they can to make sure that Mike Evans cannot affect this game the way that we would want Buccaneers fans would want Mike Evans to affect this game. For me, you just talked about him, Emeka Egbuka. When the Buccaneers selected him in the draft, bit of a head scratch. I thought the Buccaneers were going to go defense. So the Buccaneers have some defensive needs. And I thought the Buccaneers were going to go on the defensive side of the ball and try to address some of those needs. They did it in second round, third, fourth round, fifth round as well. But then you see, like Todd Bowles said, we don't draft luxury players. He said this during the training camp period. They don't draft for luxury. They draft the good players, best players that are available, and they try to get them out there on the football field. So that's the same exact thing for Emeka Egbuka. For me, Emeka Egbuka, week number 1, it's crazy to say a rookie is going to be an X factor, but I think he is going to be an X factor because of the fact that, again, I believe that Mike Evans may be double teamed. You're going to try to put a safety over him. They're going to try to do whatever they can. They know Mike Evans is the superstar wide receiver on this team. So Chris Godwin early on, we talked about this last week or the week before. Chris Godwin last year had so many targets from that slot wide receiver position. That's where Emeka is going to be playing from this year until Chris Godwin gets back, and we'll see what happens afterwards. I think he already has that chemistry, that trust from Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield is going to look his way pretty often, and I think that he's going to have a very, very productive game, probably 100 plus yards and possibly a touchdown in this first game for him to kick off the season. On the defensive side of the ball, Hassan Reddick is my X factor. The Buccaneers brought in Hassan Reddick. Hopefully he saves they're hoping. Hopefully he saves the Buccaneers pass rush group. Todd Bowles wants to get there with 4. He doesn't want to blitz as much as before. And also we have Caleb McGarry out, the starting right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons. We talked about that. His backup Storm Norton out. So they have Elijah Wilkerson sliding over. He's a versatile player, can play inside, can play outside. They have him out there. He started 45 games in his career, so he's not some unproven guy. But Hassan Reddick, he brought him in to be your premier pass rusher. He has to be able to produce when you're not going up against the top talent, the top tier offensive tackles in this league. So on offense, I want to see Emeka Egbuka take advantage of the fact that Mike Evans may be double teamed. Baker Mayfield is going to definitely look his way. He needs to take advantage and catch all those balls that go his way. On defense side, Hassan Reddick needs to step up and needs to make sure that he's pressuring Michael Penix Jr. off that blind side, because again, Michael Penix Jr., left-handed quarterback, that right side is his blind side. Even if you don't get to the quarterback, try to create as much pressure as you possibly can And if they do that, I think you rattle Michael Penix, who is going to be probably rusty because of the fact that he doesn't have, he had no preseason reps. He only played the final game of last season. That's his last time he's been out there playing football. That was against the Carolina Panthers, I believe. But those are my two X factors: Hassan Reddick and Emeka Buka. Those are my X factors for week number 1.
Yeah, like I said, I think another guy we're gonna see that really is gonna have a big game, considering that's gonna be Michael Penix's blind side. Kalijah Cansey. I think he's gonna have his way. I think he's gonna have his way. I think this is gonna be a good start to the season for him, for Kalijah. I'm really looking at Logan Hall. I want everybody to really take a good look at him, not just for this game, but for the remainder of the season, because I think he's really going to be a problem this year. Logan Hall. I really like Logan Hall. Sapp actually had some good things to say about Logan Hall, and he never says anything nice about
Bad stuff
anybody.
about Vita Vea coming in. Yep.
Yeah.
Talking about real quick, Logan Hall. He's entering his contract year. We didn't get to this, but this broke today. Luke Gadecki, he signed a 4-year contract extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers have Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gadecki. They're bookend tackles here for the long term, protecting Baker Mayfield. NFL, his name is Rick Stroud. He's at NFL Stroud on X. He was the first to report the Luke Gadecki signing, and then Jeremy Fowler. He was one who talked about the details to that contract. So it's a 4-year deal, $90 million, $50 million guaranteed. So this is the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like to do these contracts. For the most part, the first 2 years are fully guaranteed, and then the Buccaneers can move on if it doesn't work out. If something doesn't go, as you would expect, they can move on after that second year with minimal dead cap that would be, applied to them. So they signed Luke Gadecki before the first game of the preseason. I'm sorry, the regular season. So who are the other guys? You have Logan Hall, who still is looking for a contract. I would wait all the way and just see how he does this year. You have Zion McCollum, who his agent was out there during training camp, Drew Rosenhaus. And you also have Cade Otton, who is dealing with some injuries, but it looks like he might be available for week number 1. So those are the top guys that are looking for that next contract. I think Luke Gadecki was a no-brainer to keep him around in Tampa.
Yeah, you have
those other guys want to see how they do this year and possibly pay them later on. I think also you want to see a guy like Jacob Parrish. How does he do? Because he's a guy who's versatile. They said this on the very first night that they drafted him. He's a smaller guy, but he can play outside as well. So if you really like Jacob Parrish and you really like Benjamin Morrison, possibly those are 2 guys that you can move outside next year if you don't want to pay Jamel Dean anymore. You want to move on. You don't want to pay Zion McCollum that top-end cornerback money that he's going to probably be asking for. You can move somebody else inside at the nickel. They're trying out Tyke Smith at safety. They might move him back at nickel next year, seeing how that all goes out. But the Buccaneers, since they drafted a second-round cornerback and third-round cornerback, they have options next year if they don't want to pay Jamel Dean and they don't want to pay Zion McCollum anymore. So it's going to be really interesting to see how those guys play, because they might play so good that, Zion McCollum might play so good that you don't want to move on from him. You want to continue to have him here in Tampa. So, yeah.
Those corners, man, they get a little dangerous with the money, because you're looking at guys like Sauce Gardner, $30 million a year. AJ Terrell, I think he's what, 19 million a year. That's a big cap number, especially like with Sauce Gardner, $30 million a year. I mean, I get what he does, but I mean, it eats up a big chunk of your salary cap. And as far as with the Luke Gadecki stuff, yeah, man, like that's a huge signing. And for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get him locked back in a not a long-term deal, but it was a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
So my co-host Jamie on Around the NFL, he brought up a fantastic statistic. Teams who have an offensive line that have played 5 years together have always won a Super Bowl. And it's true, because if you go back and you look at that old Buccaneer offensive line when Brady was here, that offensive line was already intact. They played on the same line.
Donovan Smith,
years.
Ali Marpet, Ryan, Ian Jensen. Keep going.
Yeah. The list goes on and on. You see offensive linemen like that. That's the key of winning a Super Bowl. You win the game in the trenches. That's what it comes down to, in the trenches. I was going to do some fantasy stuff, but I'm not going to bother touching that because we haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't done my fantasy draft yet. I'm undecided whether I'm going to do a fantasy draft this year or not. Have you done one?
Yeah, not yet. I've kind of been itching to get back into it, but I told myself, all right, do I really want this? So to everybody out there, I don't think, because everybody gets to listen. We have to do the work. We have to put these shows together. We have to do all this stuff, man. So it's very chaotic to sit there because I used to give myself a $500 allowance for FanDuel or wherever, right? And I say, this is all I'm gonna play with for the year. That's it, you know.
Mhm.
And when it runs out, it runs out. I'm done. So I was either gonna do that, and then I was just like, oh, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do fantasy football. And I'm like, that's a recipe for stress. Not only does fantasy football ruin the way you root for your team, the same thing with gambling. Like you put up these parlays and stuff like that. Oh, like I remember one year it was Bijan Robinson. I don't know if you remember this game. The game that he supposedly was sick. You remember this game?
Oh no, I don't
When
remember.
all right. So real quickly, this is why and it was such a funny morning too because I'll do like this stupid parlay. I'll do like a 24, 26 leg parlay for $1 just for shits and giggles, right?
Mhm.
And I seen something with Bijan Robinson. This was his rookie year. It was all I needed was 2 catches. No, I'm sorry, 3 catches. He was averaging 2 catches per game. It was 2.5. They had him at 2 and I had him over 2.5 catches.
Mhm.
Then that's all I needed. Do you know I put together? I don't know if I have it still saved on my phone. I must have a screenshot of it. I bet $1 to win. I think like $6,000 or $5,000 on this 24 leg or 25 leg parlay. I needed everything to hit. It was unrealistic. Do you know I hit on every single thing besides
Besides
him getting? And you
that.
want to know why? Because they said he had an illness, but they put him out there to start the game, one play, and they put him back out there in the third quarter. I mean, the fourth quarter, I think
Okay,
it
yeah.
was.
Was it an international game? I
No,
think
no,
it.
no. This was
Oh,
this was against the Bucs in Tampa,
oh,
and
okay, 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 okay. Yeah, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, yep, yep.
I was pissed. I hit. I don't think you understand. Like I hit on every single thing besides those 2.5 catches. If he would have got those, I would have won. I think it was like
Mhm.
$5,000 or $6,000. Now I want to go back and look at the my. I think I have it. I have a picture of it. See, I was so upset, but then I was just like, "Who cares? It's only $1." You know, it was unrealistic to begin with, anyways. But yeah, man. Oh boy, we got a Falcons fan in here. Rise up.
They're a very, really talented team, like I said. Both
Yeah,
sides of the
they're
ball.
talented,
It's gonna
man.
be a tough matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a tough division throughout the year. Not gonna lie. I mean, the Falcons are gonna falcon, is the term that I guess they call it. You got the Buccaneers who've won the division 4 years in a row, and you got the up and coming Carolina Panthers, man. Listen, I want to do a bunch of trash talking, but I'm not going to. It's week 1 of the NFL season. You know, it just so happens we get to open it up against a division opponent and the Atlanta Falcons. And it's a must-win game. Yeah, it's a must-win game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, the Falcons, they're very talented, but talent is only going to get you so far. You need guys that have the experience. Uh, can Michael Penix really rise to the occasion when you're down 14 points? Is he a dog like Baker Mayfield? Is he willing to, scramble out of the pocket and go get 15 yards for his team? You know what I'm saying? Can Drake London take that next step to becoming, I think he's a good wide receiver. He's not elite. Um, Bijan Robinson is probably the heart and soul of that offense. I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. Uh, you know, the defense is a little shaky. Uh, so I don't know. It's gonna be a good matchup. Football season is here, guys. I'm so ready. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm ready too, man. Like I said, Sunday 1 o'clock kickoff. It's finally here. We've been analyzing everything. We've been talking about everything. We the draft, it's all over now. Now it's put up or shut up, and we're gonna see who's gonna win the division. It's gonna be I want Atlanta, I want Carolina, and I want New Orleans to bring their A game. I want the best of the best. And this goes back a little bit, but it's when the Buccaneers were on that Super Bowl run with Brady, that first year with Brady. I sat there and a lot of people were nervous about, you know, oh, I don't want to play the Saints. Oh, I don't want to play the Packers. Why not? You have to beat these teams. You have to beat these elite teams. When you can beat these elite teams, it makes you better.
Yeah.
And then they went into Kansas City. I mean, they went into the Super Bowl to play the Kansas City Chiefs. And a lot of people were nervous. I was a little bit nervous, but then I was just like, there's no way we're going to see a repeat performance of week 9. Like Tyreek Hill is not going to go off for 200 and whatever yards. It's not going to happen. And what happened? The Kansas City Chiefs, they look like a high school football team against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. That's why I'm saying you have to play these teams. Like I don't want an easy road. I want the hard road for this team because that's what builds characters. That's what builds grit. And when you're down in it and you're down by 7 points, you go back from your past experiences. And I know I'm kind of going on a rant here. It's just I'm excited the season's starting, but you go back to
Yeah.
these experiences, man, and you learn from those experiences. You learn from those experiences. Go back to the comment. What do y'all think about Micah going to Green Bay? I have a very unpopular take about that. I'll leave that because we're gonna be wrapping up. I'll leave that for my final thoughts, if you wanna hang tight for that. Let's go to Daniel's take. Bucs must-dos. What
Yep.
do the Buccaneers have to do, Daniel, to win this game against the Atlanta Falcons? I know I put you in that's a tough question because we haven't seen a real regular football game.
Mhm.
We have, but it's preseason. I'm talking real, like, full contact starters,
Yeah.
the whole 9. That's why, again, this is, it's tough to kinda predict because we don't really know where either team is at,
Yeah.
really.
All teams,
And that
all 32 NFL teams, even the
they
Tennessee
all
Titans, even the New Orleans Saints, everybody's
the
hopeful at this
Browns have a
time of the
chance
year.
to win the
There's
Super
only going to
Bowl,
be one
man.
team. How's
Yeah.
Jamie doing real quick with the Chicago Bears? Is he hopeful?
Oh, yeah, he's secretly he tries to pretend like he's like "Oh, we're gonna mess this up somehow." Deep down inside, I'm like, "Jamie, shut up, man. You guys bought an offensive line. You guys bought an offensive line for, Caleb Williams." I did make the comparison of Jameis and Caleb Williams, numerous of times, and I think it's a fair comparison. I said, he's gotta just learn when to throw the ball away because he's always like Jameis. Remember when Jameis used to do that?
Yeah.
Instead of, like, trying to, like, all right, live to fight another down, throw the ball away, look for your check down. He always try to take the deep shot to Mike,
That's what, yeah,
and
yeah, killed him.
that's what killed him. And
Even
I
at
felt like
FSU, like, yeah, he would
yeah,
throw those
same thing. Yeah,
interceptions.
FSU, same thing. 400 yards passing, 5 interceptions.
Yep.
And you can't do that. And it kind of just continued on into the NFL, and that's what I seen with Caleb Williams. I kind of figured, I'm like, he reminds me a lot of Jameis, just without the interceptions, but he
Yeah.
also had a horrible offensive line. That
Mhm.
whole organization, I was rooting for that team for a season, and I told Jamie, I said, "I'll never do that again. Never do that again. You
Yeah, I
guys
remember you saying, yep.
yeah, you guys lose stupidly. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
Mhm.
I see why people break their TVs. Not that I would ever do that, but I can
Yep.
see, like, diehard Bear fans, like, why? Like, why do you choose to be depressed like this? Why? There's 31 other teams out there. You know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
don't have
Yep.
to put yourself through this. But no, they're gonna be a better team, in my opinion. But, like, what is like I he's very excited for this year. There it's a tough division, the NFC
Yep.
North. That's a tough division. And
Yep.
it got a little bit tougher with Micah Parsons, according to some people,
Mhm.
not me. But I think he secretly wants to tell everybody, "F you, we're gonna be the best team." I think he
Mhm.
really does. But anyways, what's your take? What's the
Yeah.
must-dos? What do the Buccaneers have to do to secure a victory here for week 1 against the Atlanta
The-
Falcons?
Yeah, real quick on Caleb Williams, and I'm not the biggest fan of Caleb Williams, but I believe a lot of NFL teams move on from their starting quarterback, the young starting quarterbacks, way too quickly. You saw that with the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. All right, Sam Darnold, now with the
Oh, yeah.
Seattle Seahawks. You saw what he was able to do with the Minnesota Vikings. I think you got to give them a good offensive line. It all starts there in the trenches, and it leads right into the Bucs must-dos. It starts on the trenches here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about Charlie Heck. He has to be in there. He's been gelling with this offensive line for the entire since OTAs, training camp, preseason. He's been out there with those same guys along his side. He needs to make sure he goes out there and just protect Baker Mayfield. He's probably going to be in there just for 2 games. Tristan Wirfs likely maybe back for week number 3. But for those 2 games and possibly 3 games, make sure you do whatever you can to make sure you protect Baker Mayfield. Like I said before, if we don't hear Charlie Heck's name out there called at all, that means he had a pretty good game because the announcers aren't calling him for a holding penalty or he gave up a sack or a big pressure. So it all starts up front. If you cannot protect Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers are not going to have much success. If you remember last year when Justin School was out there against Aiden Hutchinson, with that Lions game, Justin School couldn't hold up, and Baker Mayfield just got destroyed back there. So it starts in the trenches for me on the offense. Also on the defense, you got to, like we talked about earlier, one of my X factors, Hassan Reddick. you have to get to the quarterback, whether it's Yaya Diaby lining up across Elijah Wilkerson or it's Hassan Reddick. You got to cause pressure. You got to rattle this young quarterback who only has 3 NFL starts in his career. And then for me also, no stupid mistakes. You got to make sure that you don't. These guys are all rusty. You got to make sure you don't come in. You don't commit any holding penalties. We saw Charlie Heck do that in the preseason. No penalties on offense, defense. No dumb plays on special teams. Like for example, the Tez Johnson when against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we talked about this.
I was crucial
decided
about
to touch
that.
the ball because it had a bad bounce. Just no stupid mistakes. Protect Baker Mayfield. Get to Michael Penix. It's really simple. It starts in the trenches and just mentally also for all 3 phases of football. No stupid mistakes there.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be field position, and I wanted to make him my X factor, and that was going to be Tez Johnson, but I kind of want to hold off on that for right now. For me, the must-dos for this game is the Buccaneers have to play field position against the Atlanta Falcons. Like when I say field position, I want to see big kickoff returns.
Mhm.
That's where Tez Johnson kind of comes into play. And field possession. This is how you're going to beat this Atlanta Falcons team. You want to make sure they're pushed back at their own goal line, and as far as the offense goes, I want to see them running the football. I want to see them wear out that defense and execute running the football. Yeah, I get they're going to want to take shots to Mike and Emeka, but the problem is Mike's going to be double covered. Emeka's a rookie, and he may see a little bit more stuff his way. It's no secret. I think the league knows what this kid can do. High profile player from Ohio State. Those guys are pro ready.
Yeah.
So it's about field position. The Buccaneers have to force turnovers, pressure him, cause him to, redirect his feet. Because when he has to redirect his feet, I notice he's not a very good quarterback. I don't know many quarterbacks that are that good, but I mean, there are some who can redirect their feet and, make a play. Michael Penix isn't really one of them. So when you force him to kind of move around in the pocket a little bit and you pressure him, he's going to create, he doesn't like that too much. I can't think of any quarterbacks that do, but with Michael Penix being a left-handed quarterback, you have to make him play left-handed. And when I say that, I mean, like, you have to fluster him. The defense has to really attack him. I don't really care if they don't get to him and wrap him up, but just force the timing between him and his receiver to be off, create turnovers. I want to see interceptions. I want to see 2 or 3 interceptions early on and set the tone and run the football, because the Atlanta Falcons, they're the type of team, they have weapons in Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson will kill you if you can't contain him. Listen, I don't think they're going to contain Bijan. I mean, I don't think they're going to stop Bijan, but I think they can contain him. And it's about field position, and they have to create havoc in the backfield. They have to get him flustered and cause him to throw an interception or 2. It has to happen. And another thing too, I want to see the Buccaneers kick the ball off to start the game. That for me, that's very important. I want to see the defense out there on the field early on. And I want to see them get a big stop right away, because I feel like when our defense gets a stop early on in the game, it motivates our offense to go out there and score some points. We've seen it last year a couple of times. And I want to see this team really take the pressure off the defense a little bit, the offense. But I am curious to see what Coach Grizz is going to do with this offense. But for me, like I said, the must-dos is field position, creating turnovers, running the football efficiently, and do not commit boneheaded penalties. Charlie Heck, I'm talking about you, buddy.
Yep.
Do not commit false starts, because those kill a team.
They kill a drive.
Yeah, they're drive killers, man. And we're in uncharted waters right now early on. And I don't want to see any boneheaded mistakes, man. That's my thing. We got a couple
I really like
comments.
your field position one, especially awesome.
Yeah,
we talk about
you have
these
to.
returners. I think they're going to be really, really good this year. So yeah, I agree with all your. You can have like 10 keys to the game, man. But yeah, I agree with all your keys to the game.
Yeah. And to me, the most important thing for the Buccaneers again is the field position situation because it's an unknown for the defense still, and it's technically an unknown for the offense. We don't know how Coach Chris is gonna do. I mean, what Liam Cohen did with this team was fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like him, but you have to tip your hat off to him. That was one of the greatest Buccaneer offenses
Top
we've
five,
seen
yeah, top five
in a
offense. Yeah.
long time. The consistency of that team was insane. It's a shame he couldn't be back for another year because I think he would have tore it up. I honestly do. I think he would have been fantastic this year. Um, but you can't keep all these guys, unfortunately. And there's only 32 jobs in the NFL.
Yep.
You got to take one when you get a chance. Dave Canales did it, and now Liam Cohen. We'll see what those two guys will do with their respective ball clubs. But yeah, I mean, like I said, field position and not committing dumb penalties. You got to run the football down their throat. That's what it comes down to. You got to set the standard. You got to put the league on notice that, you're not going to take shit. That's what it comes down to because this Buccaneer team is so disrespected in the media. You and I know the things that we hear about this team is just rubbish, in my opinion. The local media guys, we know what this team is about. We know who shows up and who doesn't. So yeah, like I said, field position, don't commit stupid boneheaded penalties, and just keep your drives alive and run, run, run. Let's get to these comments before we log out of here. David says Tez might not get the punt returns because he's gonna have to be involved in the offense. I don't think
he wasn't listed as a starting punt return. They released a depth chart today, first one. He wasn't listed as a starting punt returner. I can't remember if at this point if it was Cameron Johnson who was out there. I think it was Cameron Johnson, but because he's going to be so involved in the offense. Let's see how many times they put him out there on special teams to return those. But yeah, I agree with David here.
Yeah, David also says I think that's why they kept Cam Johnson. Yeah, so he also says Grizz going to be just as good. Yeah, I hope so. I do think we talked about this. Sometimes is the Buccaneers offensive coordinator position with the talent around here, is it kind of plug and play? I mean, yes and no, because you got to know what you're doing as far as because we've seen Dave Canales with this offense, and Dave Canales struggled early on where we kind of were like, what's going on here? Some questionable calls. Back to this Falcons fan. I'm not going to hate on you right now because we have yet to play a game. Am I right or wrong? But does Atlanta play Tampa on Thursday night? Yes. I will actually be at that game. It's December 11th, my birthday. That's how I know about it. And I will be at that game, creamsicle game. Daniel, we talked about this, the curse of the creamsicle jerseys.
Prime time.
This is like a recipe of disaster, technically. But I'm going down, so hopefully we can change the luck here for the Tampa Bay Bucs. I mean, I don't think I'm going to have anything to do with anything, but I mean, it'd be nice.
When you probably saw that game on the schedule, got those flashbacks from when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost 50+ to the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, that was I remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah, I still remember that like it was yesterday. That was terrible. Wow. Yeah. All right, we'll get to my final thoughts. Well, final word here, and it's funny because he was talking about Micah Parsons. Free jersey giveaway. So the way I'm going to do the free jersey, because I'll forget about this, and then people will get mad again, because I was supposed to do this like a couple of weeks ago. So my free jersey giveaway, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to wait and see. I see who was active in the comment section. I see who's watching and stuff like that. I know who shares the stuff. So you're gonna have to like and subscribe. I can't even talk today. it's
no, you're good,
a vacation.
We
had a vacation weekend. We were actually camping in Salem, Massachusetts. We got to see all the
man. It looked awesome.
over again.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was fun. We actually had real quickly. We actually had probably some of the best coffee I've ever had from Black Craft. They have like I know they sell like all like that weird clothing line and stuff. I bought in a couple t-shirts from them. They got some cool graphics. But they have this coffee shop and it is fantastic. Some of the best coffee. Like you drink some coffee sometimes, your stomach gets all messed up. Next thing you run into the bathroom. I was kind of nervous about this, and then I drank the coffee and I was like, this is delicious. I want another. I wanted more. It was really good coffee. It was like $6, I think it was, for each coffee, $6.90 something. The wife paid because she loves coffee. But I had a lot of coffee. Oh
Gargoyles
yeah.
of all time. Yeah.
I will say this: there's something about the town of Salem. It's kind of a shame what happened because a lot of people
Hmm.
don't really know that backstory. A lot of innocent women got hung
Yeah.
because of pure speculation.
Yeah.
But going over there, it's really, if you guys ever get a chance, go out there, man. It's a really beautiful town. There's a lot of stuff to do out there. Essex Street is where all the heart of all that stuff is. They have a lot of cool stuff, the witch museums and stuff like that. If you're into that stuff, um, but it's really cool. It's a really nice little town. We camped out there. It was cool. I
Hmm.
wouldn't recommend doing it again, but it was fun. It was a
Yeah.
different experience. I wanna go back to this Falcons fan. It's nice to have fans talking about football. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in, especially being a Falcons fan, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing this thing called State of the South, where it's a round table where I'm gonna have a Saints fan, a Falcons fan. I'll represent the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we'll have a Panthers fan, and we just kinda do the State of the South every month. But, yeah, with, now that I'm off topic, with the free jersey giveaway, whoever kinda you have to be liked and subscribe to the channel, and you have to share the stuff, and then I will announce a winner. um, I kinda have an idea who it's gonna be. No, Daniel, it's not gonna be you because you cannot enter to the free jersey giveaway. Um, and no, Jamie, not you as well. But, I will announce it when I do the pregame show for the Buccaneers and Falcons. I'm gonna put out a pregame show early on, and I'll announce the winner, and then you're gonna message me, and then I'm gonna get your size, your address, and all that stuff, and then I will get you a free jersey, whatever player you want. So that's the way that's gonna work. But back to this final word because it's getting late. Um, all right. My whole thing is the Micah Parsons trade. Let me ask you first, Daniel. How did you feel about that trade? And do you think uh, one of these teams got finessed here? That's what the young kids
So
like to use.
yeah, I don't know which way you're gonna go. I believe I know which way you're gonna go, but like I know a lot of people were bashing the Cowboys here, man. But I kind of like the move. I kind of agree with the move. I think what Kenny Clark is 29, so you're getting an aging defensive lineman there, but that draft capital, the 2 first-round picks. We talked about this before. What would we be willing if we were the general manager of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, willing to give up for Micah Parsons? I said a first and a third, and I said the Cowboys wouldn't accept that. But that's what I would feel comfortable with. But they
Right.
gave up 2 first-round picks, the Packers did, to get Micah Parsons, including also Kenny Clark. I think in the long run, it depends on how the Cowboys decide to draft and what they're going to do in that end. But I like the move for the Dallas Cowboys more than I like it for the Packers. I don't believe the Packers are a Super Bowl contender. So you would make this move if you feel like you're one piece away. You're one piece away.
Right.
I don't think the Packers are one piece away. They're going to be a playoff team, but I don't think they're one piece away. That this is the move to put them over the edge.
Yeah. Honestly, I agree. I don't. So here's my thing with this. When has the Dallas Cowboys defense with Micah Parsons been a top 10 defense? I can't think of a time. We've seen. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he's a generational player." I get it, but when has this man ever anchored a team to the Super Bowl? What I mean, you look back at some of these linebackers. Ray Lewis, that's a generational player. Lawrence Taylor, that's a generational player. I'm not hating on Micah Parsons, but I think the Cowboys got a good deal. I really do. They got 2 first-round draft picks and a defensive player to kind of fill that void. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, he rushes the passer, but I heard something today where he has an issue with his back,
Yeah, there's a back injury. Yeah.
and he
Shouldn't
may
be.
not be ready
Yeah.
for week 1. It shouldn't be
Mhm.
too severe, but still, now you're already, what is he, 26 years old? You're already having a back issue. The Cowboys must know something. Supposedly, I heard that they offered him 150 million, and he didn't want it,
They
or something
wanted
like that.
the issue where they wanted to negotiate directly with him instead of his agent. He didn't like that, that whole situation there. But yeah, man, I don't think that the Packers actually won this trade. We might be wrong when you look forward, 5
Yeah,
years down the line, or even maybe at the end of this year, we might be wrong. But I don't think the Packers they won this trade in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. I think the Packers they need a wide receiver. They need they need a little bit. They're not too far off, but I mean, if you ask me who's a better team, the Buccaneers or the Packers, I don't give it. I don't
Yeah.
give a crap if you have Micah Parsons. We've played against Micah Parsons. I remember playoff Lenny put him right on his ass. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really intimidated by a team with Micah Parsons. I mean, I know I've said in the past, hey, I'd like to have him. Of course, I'd like to have him. I feel like him on this Todd Bowles defense with Larry Foote,
Mhm.
absolutely, it makes sense. I think he would thrive here. But I mean, you're going to Green Bay. Again,
You,
it's
you,
just my
yeah.
go ahead.
You would cause a like the Packers have a hole now in their defensive line losing Kenny Clark. So
Yeah.
I saw this trade proposal, and I talked about this on my podcast a few weeks back. But the trade proposal was if the Buccaneers were to acquire Micah Parsons, 2 first-round picks, Vita Vea and Bucky Irving. That was thrown out there by I forgot who on ESPN, but by
Oh yeah,
ESPN.
I seen that.
Yeah, and you get Micah Parsons, but you create 2 major holes on your team. Now the Buccaneers do have a deep running back group, but none of them are as good as Bucky Irving. And then at nose tackle, you lose Vita Vea. That means you have Greg Gaines starting for the majority of your season, unless you're able to somehow find somebody else out there. Also, I don't know if the Buccaneers would have ended up bringing in Micah Parsons. You know, they have this "I am that man" thing, and I think he might be a little bit too mature for Jason Light's liking. You know, he was like falling asleep. He was like laying down. You know, one of his final images with the Cowboys. You know,
It's not
you
a good
can't.
look.
I don't know the guy personally or any of that stuff, but the Buccaneers, they try to steer clear from anybody who they think might be an issue. I know. Also the Falcons. I was listening to their general manager talk. He was talking about he kind of has like the same mentality now as Jason Light does because he's seen. I'm sure NFL teams, people around the league have seen. The Buccaneers try to steer clear from players who might be, issues, from above the neck. That's what Jason Light likes to say. So he says that the most times when he misses on a guy, it's because of above the neck, whether it's effort, passion. They don't do what they're supposed to do. DUIs like
Vernon
Austin
Hargreaves.
Sperry and Jenkins. Vernon Hargreaves didn't have hustle, didn't want to be a part of a team, is what Jason Light said. I don't know if Micah Parsons would have been a guy that Jason Light would have given up so much draft capital for. If it was a guy like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, I don't think Trey Hendrickson, but possibly a guy like that who they're going to come into his locker room, they're going to give you 100% maturity and all the stuff. They fit the locker room perfectly.
I wanted Max Crosby when the offseason first started. When I heard he was available, I'm like, that's a guy that the Buccaneers. I was beating that drum. I'm like, that's a guy the Buccaneers should go after. Max Crosby.
Yeah,
that dude will give you 150% on every single play. I've never seen anything like it. To me, I wish I would have seen him in pewter and red this year. That would have been nice to see Max Crosby on this team, but it is what it is, But yeah, I feel like the Buccaneers have really set a standard for a lot of teams. As far as I think we're the ones that kind of invented, well, not we, but them. They've invented, there's really no such thing as a salary cap with the void years. We've learned how to manipulate the salary cap.
Mike Greenberg.
Mike Greenberg, Spy Tech. The Saints have tried to not everybody can do it. The Saints have tried to replicate it, and look what happened to them. They just couldn't.
They're always in cap hell. They can never really get out of it. That team's gonna need years to rebuild correctly.
They just can't pay. How can I say it? It's kind of like when you get a bad deal buying a car, man. The interest rate's so high, and you're just paying interest. I mean, that's kind of like with the New Orleans Saints. Nothing gets to the principal. It's just interest, and it sucks. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I'm okay with it. I don't like the Saints one bit. Cameron Jordan, I seen Sam Ali from the Loose Cannons podcast. He posted something today on X. Again, Cameron Jordan running his mouth. Dude, quit it. Just stop talking.
That's him, man. He knows that the Saints aren't going anywhere. He just has to hype up the team and talk as much as possible. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you my final score. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to walk away with a victory, 24-17. I don't think it's going to be a big-time scoring game. I think because it's week 1, a little bit of rust on both sides of the football. Yeah. Both teams are banged up. Let's see here. Since I don't want to neglect them, we got a new fan here. We don't play Green Bay this year. I don't care. Thank you for taking on my convo. Absolutely, man. Like I said, just because you got a Falcons banner there, that doesn't mean we're gonna neglect you, man. It is what it is. Thanks for the stream. I'll talk to you all later. I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, like I said, I think 24. I noticed he wanted to leave once I said the Buccaneers are going to win 24-17. I'm predicting 24-17. I don't think it's going to be a big time scoring game. I just think both teams are going to be feeling each other out. And I think the Buccaneers are going to dominate the football by running the football. And I think Atlanta's going to struggle a little bit. Because I think Atlanta's going in there with those 2 wins over us, and they think that they're going to be able to pull that one more time. And I don't think that's the case here. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Todd Bowles are going to be more prepared on defense than the last 2 meetings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's your final score? What do you got?
So I don't have like a specific final score, but I think it's going to be, I agree with you, a low scoring game. I don't think we get to a shootout, especially with both quarterbacks have their blind side out. I know Josh Grizzard wants to go deep. I don't know exactly if he's going to be able to do that if you have Charlie Heck holding up, because I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold up for. But I think it's going to be a low scoring game. The Buccaneers come out on top in this game. I think the Falcons and the Buccaneers end up splitting the series. So unfortunately, on your birthday, they might get.
Come on, man.
I think they split.
I know it's such a recipe for disaster. Yeah, it's such a recipe for disaster. Why am I going down there to spend all that money to watch them lose? Because I've seen them play. I've seen them play, and I'm undefeated. I'm 1-0 at Gillette, watching them play. But I honestly. Oh no, I'm lying to you. I've seen the Patriots lose at Gillette Stadium twice. Out of all the games, I think I went to like at least 17 Patriot games. I've only seen them lose twice.
Yeah,
that was Tom Brady's last game as a Patriot, and Tom Brady's first time coming back to Gillette as a Buccaneer. So I'll take that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, man. That was a good show. I'm very excited about week 1. We went a little bit long. I didn't realize how late it was. I'm excited, man.
It's fun talking to you, no matter how long this goes on, man. I appreciate you.
I'm just excited, dude. No, of course, man. Like I said, it's exciting because it's finally here.
It's back.
We've been waiting for this. We've been doing our homework on the team, the draft, the free agents, and all this stuff. And now it's finally here. We're literally a couple of days away. Not a couple of days. Well, we're a couple of days away from Thursday night football.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Eagles versus the Cowboys. We're talking about
Cowboys pulling an upset. I'm going to go ahead. That's my bold prediction.
Okay. I got the Eagles winning that one, but
all right.
You never know what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if the Cowboys can kind of get out early, and who knows? Maybe Micah was the problem there. Who knows? We don't know. We won't find out. But that's the beauty of it, because it's week 1, guys.
Yeah.
Week 1 starts Thursday. The NFL season kicks off Thursday night. Eagles, Cowboys.
Look, I want to tell also people, it's week 1, like you just said. Don't overreact. No matter, I know after week 1, like Arch Manning did a really bad job. I'm not a big college football guy, but I know Arch Manning did a really bad job, in his debut there for this season. It's just overreaction Monday. Hopefully we don't get, just tamper it down.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Yeah. These guys are rusty. Just, the Buccaneers will get there eventually, if they come out slow this game. Hopefully they don't for Buccaneers fans, but if they come out slow, don't overreact. This is a long season. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, man. This is
exactly.
5K run, whatever,
Yeah, it's a marathon. You know what I'm saying? Is it an important game? Absolutely. You got to set the tone. You can't lose these division games. You have to win these division games. But I feel confident enough that the Buccaneers will win this game. And if they don't, and then it's back to the drawing board. We got to get better, and you can't let one game define your season, because this can go. Go ahead.
If they lose this week 1, it's just because they wanted to give you that birthday win on your.
Yeah, see that beautiful. That
they just want they want to split the series, but correctly on your birthday.
Yeah, see that. We
saw the Saints lose. Tom Brady lose when he came in against the Saints week number 1. They went on to win the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Just don't overreact. No matter what happens, don't overreact.
Yeah, like I said, it's week 1. It's fine. It's okay. I would be concerned if Baker looked bad. I would be concerned if we had a major injury. But I mean, week 1 is just as meaningful as the preseason. Is that all right to say? Because
a little bit more meaningful, I'll agree.
A little, but you know what I mean.
But in terms of overall grand scheme, exactly. Yeah, man. It's 1 week. You can't predict how a whole season's going to go off of 1 week. I know
Yeah.
every fan is hopeful that their team wins week number 1 because like we talked about months and months, since the final game of the regular season or the playoffs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when lost to the Commanders. You're hoping that, you see who they pick up in the draft, you see what they pick up in free agency, Hassan Reddick, you just see how this team is shaped. But don't overreact no matter what happens. No matter if it's good also. If the Buccaneers do really, really good, it doesn't mean they're going to go 17-0 this year.
Yeah.
Just temper your expectations. Be a realist, like you like to say. Be a realist. Be a
Yeah, be a
realistic,
football realist.
a follower of the team, and just take it slowly. Take it week by week. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and I always tell people, go back and watch the All 22, and you can kind of figure out what went wrong. And that's something I like to do. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. I don't know. I was told I'm an old man because I like doing that. I don't know, but I do. I like watching it. Yeah, I like to watch the All 22. I'll watch it like once or twice and just kind of see who's doing what. All right, man. That really wraps up the show. We had a fantastic show. Daniel, let everybody know where they can find you now.
Wait, real quick. Make sure you guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Louis. Louis is an amazing guy, man. I truly appreciate your work. You know how much of a big fan I am of yours. Like we say this,
appreciate it, man.
I truly appreciate you. But yeah, you guys can follow me on X at Daniel M _ TB, on YouTube. Fear the Bay is where you guys can follow me there, and also now on Pewter Report. So I'm going to be a part of the Buccaneers game day. So if you want to watch me and Matt Matera talk during the game, and you put the game on, you can listen to us and you can see what insight we have to provide. But again, make sure you subscribe to Louis, follow him on X at Louis FPP. To follow him everywhere, man. He's a great guy. Your fans know this absolutely, but any new viewers, Louis is an amazing guy, man. He always provides really good content, not just on the Buccaneers, but when you do the Around the NFL and you do your vault.
Those are fun.
We did the 85 Dolphins versus the 2007 New England Patriots. You always come up with really creative ideas. Jamie, also your co-host on Around the NFL, I got to talk to him, a few weeks back. Really good guy also, man. So I appreciate what you do here, Louis. Like we talked about, listen to everybody that you possibly can. Get as much information on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not just the top guys, not just, just listen to everybody that you possibly can, man. And I promise you, if you do that, you're going to be a much more informed, if you're already informed, you're going to be a much more informed Buccaneers fan than you currently are. And it can only do you good.
Yeah, man. And then, you know what? I'm very proud of you, man. You definitely deserve this opportunity. I can't wait because now I have some real football analysts for Sunday because I do not like listening to the commentary on Fox or CBS. I can't do it anymore. When I was a kid, it was a little bit different. You with Al Michaels and John Madden, like those were classics. Pat Summerall, this is way before you even existed, before you even had Twinkle in the Stars. Pat Summerall and John Madden, that was classic. Al Michaels on some historic Monday Night Football calls. I'm excited to listening to you. And Matt Matera, man, I really am. I'm excited.
Thank you. I appreciate you listening, and I just appreciate all the support that everybody.
I gotta support you, man. You deserve it.
Man, you see how kind and how open the Buccaneers, this fan base, the media are, on social media, where everybody just welcomed me on Pewter Report, and it's just really good experience. And again, if you guys haven't just already, please follow Louis, man. He's a really great guy. I think your voice should be one of those bigger voices out there. I think you're one of the best hosts in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers realm in terms of, news and media and all this stuff that we do here, man.
We're working on it. We'll get there. We'll get there. We're working on it.
Of course, you will.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Just no matter what you're doing in life, man. I learned this pretty early on. Be consistent, don't complain. If there's a problem, you find a solution. You always got to work as hard as you possibly can. That's something that I try to do every single day. And we're fathers, we work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
It gets tough at times, man, but we find a way to do it. We don't make excuses. We just go out there and we do what we got to do. And I'm sure a lot of people listening are the same exact way.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if you guys haven't, make sure you follow Danny Morales now with Pewter Report. Like I said, you just heard him. How old are you, Danny? What are you, 23,
26,
26? 20? Yeah. He looks like he's 19. He's got the gig with Pewter Report. And like I said, you talk like you're my age, 37, 40 years old. So that's why
my brother is an old soul.
Yeah, man. That's why I enjoy having you on the show. But I am going to start giving you homework. I want you to start digging into some of the old Tampa Bay Buccaneers history.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done so already. I've been a bit busy, but I got looking guys like Hardy Nicholson, Sheldon Corals, more, those older Donnie Abrams, those older Buccaneers. You said, what is it? the Batman guy. What is his name? The linebacker who wore 54.
Richard Batman Wood.
Yeah. I gotta look at his
Yeah,
highlights, man.
you gotta get into him. I want you to really study the 99 Buccaneer defense, man.
99. Yep.
Whenever you get a chance, look up some highlights of them. That was probably one of the greatest defenses of all time. With all that being said, guys, we appreciate you listening to us here. I know we went a little bit long, but like I said, free jersey giveaway. You got to like, subscribe to the podcast. Also, share the podcast, and I'm going to see that. I kind of have an idea of who's going to win this. But like I said, the winner to the free jersey giveaway will be announced the pregame show this Sunday. Guys, please be kind to one another. Be safe. Love one another, and make sure you go hit up DJ Ups on
Great
his,
guy, man. Yeah.
charity
Good
thing
cause,
too.
all that stuff.
Yeah, make sure you guys go and donate for an autographed jersey. As always, peace. Go Bucs. Fire the cannons.